It's live.
Can we start?
Yes, please.
As different streams having different sources all mingle their waters in the sea. So different tendencies, various though they appear, crooked or straight, all lead to God. This was said by Swami Vivekananda. And I always believe that, much like said that charity begins at home, sanitation and hygiene starts with you and me. So it is all around. We have to be completely aware that what is happening around. Our world is rapidly becoming virtually an integrated environment. Geographical distances are being bridged by the high-tech infrastructure programs such as roads, tunnels, and bridges with huge financial contributions provided by the powerful nations as facilitators. But a crucial factor is missing, namely a clear and common value perspective for the future world, which we are awaiting to see by 2030. And this is possible only with the active participation of each individual. On that note, namaste and a big welcome to all the excellencies, erudite ladies and gentlemen, educators, brothers, sisters, chief guests, keynote speakers, and the expert panelists all over the globe. This is World Peace Summit 2022, organized by Vishwa Bharati United International Royal Council. Today is the 6th day of the summit, and we have been experiencing very insightful, impressive, and very ingenious kinds of sessions with lots of learning, lots of sharing, lots of solutions were being provided by all the erudite speakers, the chief guests, to one and only sustainable development goals, starting from day 1 to day 5. And today, the 6th day, we will be talking about Sustainable Development Goal 6. And today too, you will be having a lot of thought sharing. There will be a lot of deliberations from the speakers, from all the listeners, and a lot more. You just need to be glued to your seat as long as the session continues. And I assure you that this platform will be giving you a lot of takeaways at the end of the session. We need to make the world a better place to live in, and we can only do that by breaking the stereotype and ensuring that each and every one enjoys the rights. So along with me, we have the whole council, the Royal Council, who has been working, not only having the delegations, but also sharing some ideas which have already been implemented towards the progress of 2030. So on that note, I would now invite our very own chairman of the council, Dr. Rajarao Pagadipalli, who is also very much well known to everyone. He is the only person to serve the organization with sincerity and also taking up interesting and challenging tasks that places in his organization. Being the chairman of Vishwa Humanity United International Royal Council, he has done several such works bringing about the progress of the global change. So today, I would request Dr. Pragadipalli Rajarao sir to say something about Vishwa Bharati organization and also about the World Peace Commission. So Sir, the virtual platform is all yours, and we are ready to listen to you and your views about this World Peace Commission.
Thank you, Excellency. Thank you so much. A great invitation, great words. I'm very happy because these words are spoken by you. Feel it's a privilege and honor, Professor Rajna Chakravarti, ma'am. Thank you so much for standing today to run the show, World Peace Summit, sixth day. Really, it's going good. And for the last 5 days, really every day, it has its momentum. It's growing every day. It's growing every day. And the sad part is, still we are unable to adjust. There are so many eminent speakers. We are unable to adjust their slots. But tomorrow onwards, we are again rediscussing with them, provide them slots. So anyway, we can minimize whatever the problems that are occurring in our journey. We rectify them. Still, we'll go with more strength because this is World Peace Summit. In our journey, there will be certainly some hiccups, but certainly we'll do overcome. So one more great day in World Peace Summit. One more great day because this is very important day because this thing that water decides the survival of the planet and survival of the people, the hygiene, the sanitation, and the water. So we are at a crucial juncture, and we are with eminent people. Crucial juncture and eminent people. I want to thank our beloved chief guest, sir, Sahu sir. Really, your presence made it next level, sir. Thank you for joining as a chief guest to this program. And one more guest, Maji sir. Maji sir is our close friend. Of course, it's through online only. But anyway, we have been seeing his intellectual knowledge through various Zoom platforms. And he is really amazing. Having his presence at this program, really, it's the next level. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for joining. I thank Sahu sir and Maji sir and Chandi ma'am, Professor Chandi ma'am, who is the vice registrar, and Manju ma'am, who is the dean, Dr. Shafir Muhammad sir, Global Rights Foundation chairman. So, with all these eminent people, and there are other keynote speakers, eminent keynote speakers and panel speakers, so many are yet to join. So, with these visionaries, with these legends, the program certainly reach next level. So, again, I am welcoming every one of you to the sixth day World Peace Summit. We are, again, I am uttering the same word. We are going to make our mark in the history of the world. Thank you. Thank you so much. Over to Professor Rachna ma'am.
Thank you so much, Rajarao sir. That was really, really a nice way of welcoming all our erudite speakers, the chief guests. They, with their busy schedule, they have taken out their time, and we know that SDG, all the goals from goal number 1 to goal number 17, every goal is very, very primarily set up, and each and every goal is equally important. But I think that special place should be given to this clean water and sanitization, because without that, we cannot survive. That's very, very important. Without clean water, there cannot be any sort of other works. We cannot start without it. So this is one of the most important goal of all the SDGs goals. So I would request each and everyone, even the audience who are watching us in the Zoom room, as well as who are watching us live, not to go anywhere, because we have a lot of speakers who will be sharing their viewpoint and what work they have been doing to bring about this cleanliness and sanitization. We already know that in India, we had started the Swachh Bharat Abhiyan. So under that, sanitization work's role will play a lot. So we would love to listen from all our erudite and dynamic leaders who have joined in from across the country as well as across the globe, to listen to them how they have been taking this country towards cleanliness and sanitization to reach that ultimate goal at 2030. So without much delay, I would like to invite today our President, Dr. V.J. Caroline Ma'am, the only support system who has been always ready to support everyone behind this whole setting of World Peace Summit 2022. Whether it's day or night, she is the only one person who is working so hard and seeing that everyone gets the idea and the knowledge behind what is this SDG goals and the main link between how we are today and what will be at 2030. Dr. V.J. Caroline Ma'am is a professor of English and Environmental Studies and the counseling psychologist, international speaker, faculty advisor and innovation entrepreneur cell, faculty advisor of Engineers Without Borders, chairman of the Life Foundation. It's an amazing foundation. We would love to listen more from you, ma'am, about that. The MD of Vishwa Humanity United International Royal Council, the MD of CATVNet, then the Secretary of Lions Club International, Navbharat, Hyderabad, and the General Secretary of Progressive Psychologists Association, India, and soft skill trainer. So, ma'am, we would love to listen from you, the only person behind each and every speakers and this whole thing to get it done properly. It's all with ma'am. So I am really, really honored to be here sharing the same platform with you, ma'am. And over to you right now to know more about the organization.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for inviting me. Really, it's a great day and a great time. We are discussing about sustainable development goals and especially the world peace. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, all the honorable chief guests, keynote speakers, and panel discussion speakers, all the eminent viewers who gathered here. Thank you very much for making this day a great day with your august presence. I'm Dr. V.J. Caroline, Managing Director of Vishwa Humanity United International Royal Council. I would like to say a few lines about our organization, its objectives, vision, and mission. Vishwa Humanity United International Royal Council has been established under Government of India Section 8 of the Companies Act 2013 to be the symbol of the unity and peace for all nations and dedicated to ending poverty by improving and empowering the lives of vulnerable populations around the world and spreading the culture of peace, harmony, and tolerance. Royal Council works in the area of various disciplines like cultural exchange, agriculture, food, health, education, research and development, environment, sustainable development, child welfare, and women empowerment. Our core values are integrity, diversity, and equality. We put women and girls in the center because we know that we cannot overcome poverty until all people have equal rights and opportunities. So especially girls and women need to be centered and we have to empower girls and women. If girls and women are educated and empowered, the nation will be enlightened and we can see the great flourishment. So this is our motto, especially the council promotes cultural exchange and cultural development programs that support responsible and sustainable management, policies and practice at cultural heritage destinations in order to promulgate the importance of authenticity and integrity, protecting heritage values. So these are this is about our organization. I would like to say about vision and mission. Our vision is to serve humanity and end violence in building a peaceful world without poverty and to strive for building peaceful local, national, and international communities leading from vulnerability to empowerment. Mission. Our mission is to strive for humanitarian services, baseline social protections through education, awareness, and action in order to build peaceful relationships among people of all cultures and nations. Our objectives are: we mainly focus on research and education to promote research, education, and impart education, training for the development of socio-economic and spiritual aspects in different field sectors, especially in rural areas. creating awareness, to organize awareness programs for control of population growth and create awareness among the people regarding the pandemics and epidemic diseases. To abolish the unemployment of the society by implementing the self-sustainable development programs and also by conducting free skills training programs to unemployed youth. To run women and child welfare programs by giving them an equal position in society and to rehabilitate destitute ones. We concentrate on health services to provide medical facilities to the weaker section of the society by conducting free medical health camps and free medicine donation campaigns. Our another objective is cultural exchange. To conduct student exchange programs at national and international platforms for educational and cultural exhibitions. These are our objectives. Under Vishwa Humanity United International Royal Council, we have two sister organizations. One is Telangana Kala Parishad. The chairman of the Telangana Kala Parishad is Dr. Rajarao Pagidipalli. He is mainly concentrating, that is that organization, Telangana Kala Parishad, mainly concentrate and focus on cultural exchange. So we value the culture of different nations and we want to respect the culture and heritage globally, and we want to bring awareness in the minds of the youth, the importance of culture and heritage, and value the system of each nation. And Telangana Kala Parishad mainly concentrates on the weaker sections as well the daily labors. So during pandemic, the laborers, they suffered a lot at that time. Pagidipalli Rajarao sir, he supported the daily labors and he has brought to the notice of the government that some kind of help to be given by the government. So he has taken up a lot of campaign and supported the daily labors as well. He supported the safe farmer, that is the main concentration of the Telangana Kala Parishad. So he supported the farmers, and because farmers are the backbone of our country. And the second organization is the Life Foundation. The chairman of the Life Foundation is me, that is Dr. Vijay Kari. So we mainly concentrate on slum people. So people who are below poverty line. And our main focus is on women and girl children. As just now I said, Vishwa Humanity United International Royal Council mainly concentrates on girl and women. So to have the self-employed people as they're very poor and below poverty line, we have set up tailoring centers in the slums. And also we noticed that children of the slums are moving around without proper education. We felt that education is all-round development. So we have set up study centers in the slums, and we are encouraging the girl and boy children to have good education. So evening from 6 o'clock to 9 o'clock, they have study centers. The study center education will be imparted. As the parents are illiterate, unable to concentrate on students. And when we have done survey in the slums, we noticed that few children only got education. They are only 6th or 7th is the highest education in that slum. So then we started encouraging the parents to join the children and such kind of awareness programs have been taken up. And now the study centers is population, the strength of the study centers, it has been increasing, rising high. So in this way, we are supporting the slum people and also servant maids who are below poverty line. And we are encouraging servant maids to join the students in our study centers. In this way, we are imparting education to the weaker section people. So our Life Foundation is also helping that is people who are suffering, who are being addicted to the drugs and other bad habits. We are taking up awareness programs and we are counseling and we are showing them the importance of the financial abundance. If they are addicted, they will be more below poverty line. That is, they will be drawn to more poverty. So in this way, we are taking up counseling sessions as I'm a counseling psychologist. So I conduct awareness programs and take up the counseling for the family members who are having the conflicts and other psychological issues. So in this way, the Life Foundation is supporting the people below poverty line. So thank you very much for giving this opportunity.
Thank you so much, ma'am. And there is so much of learning, and there is so many people who are doing really good work for the nation. And this we get to know when we are together. Who says that pandemic has brought us behind? It's like the world has become shorter. If you see it from a different perspective, we feel that we are interacting and knowing more about others. Like, for example, Dr. Vijay Caroline ma'am just now said the amount of work both of them had been doing, Dr. Raja Rao and Vijay Caroline ma'am, it's still just a drop in the wide ocean where we are looking out for a world at 2030. So we all need to join hands right now. And this is the need of an hour, the call of the moment. And it's a big shout out to everyone that join hands with such people who are really, really working down to earth, heart and soul. And if we join hands, we can really make the world a better place. And the SDG goals, which we are seeing as the sustainable development goals, will only be possible if we are united. If we can join hands with each other, come out and not think that it is not my responsibility, it is his responsibility, it is her responsibility. We should all be able to say it is our responsibility to make the world a better place. Then only the Global Peace Summit, we can make it successful. So on that note, we have many erudite speakers and delegates with us. So our first speaker tonight is a very, very dynamic personality, Dr. Devendra Prasad Maji, worked as a director, Dr. Ambedkar Foundation, Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment, an academic by heart. He has acquired professional qualifications in various disciplines from various prestigious universities across the world, including management schools. Some of these disciplines are mass communication, public policy and management, journalism, health system management. Dr. Maji has a very rich experience and exposure in multidisciplinary fields in general administration, human resource management, media advocacy and management, healthy public building initiatives and campaign, disaster management, etc. He attended the 18th World Conference on Health Promotion in Melbourne, Australia in 2004 as WHO India delegate and served as co-chair the editorial committee in 2007, 2008, ISS Netherlands. I can keep on talking about Sir endlessly, and I don't think I'll be able to finish talking about Sir's achievements and the kind of work he has been doing for the progress and development of the world peace. But we would love to listen from him today instead of me talking, because whatever I say is just a drop in his achievements, in his lifelong career achievement. So, sir, the virtual platform is all yours. Over to Devendra Maji, sir. Over to you, sir.
Thank you for your so much appreciation and kind words. Judge Bonarso said appreciation is akin to creation, but appreciating somebody just before him or her is like if I just divert from the main discourse today. So let me say that who can appreciate, who can create? Appreciation is akin to creation means who can create? Mother Earth can create. We are talking about the Mother Earth, the SDG goal 6. And water, air, and pollutions, health, poverty. These are the issues that are being addressed by the United Nations and the agenda set by the United Nations. So these are the fundamental units, fundamental elements which goes beyond the boundaries. And these elements are the fundamental factors and the common heritage of the mankind. So we are talking about the Mother Earth and appreciation, as Judge Bonarso said. Who can appreciate? And Mother Earth can appreciate. Mother Earth can create. An artist can create. And a creator like the Brahma can create. So today, the topic of deliberation is about Mother Earth. Its fundamentals, the basic, the pivotal in which like sanitation, water, and world peace. These are the elements for existence of any entity. We may be defining or confining the existence of entities into the biological living beings, but going by the definition of psychology, metaphysics, we may go much, much beyond, and so-called non-living beings can also be defined as living beings in terms of creation, preservation, and destruction. Theory of Trinity theory, Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara, exactly in the same way. Today, the topic is about the water. What we call the water? We call Jivan, life. Javat jananam, tavat maranam, tavat janani, jathare sayanam. This is the cycle of life and death. Javat jananam, janma, birth. Tavat maranam. Whenever there is birth, birth is inevitable with death. And death and birth, they keep on moving in the cyclical way. And now, what is the context? Why I'm comparing this, reciting this sloka, Javat jananam, tavat maranam, tavat janani, jathane sayanam, because just like birth and death, as we define water, the jivana, it has the cyclical form. It is created somewhere. You can take the example of water, this river, any water body, sea, ocean, pond, rainfalls, even the rainfalls on the mountain caps, snow-clad mountains. You go to the polar areas, it's full of snow. It has permafrost, as geographically we used to call it permafrost. Permanently, it has been accumulated for years together, for ages together, to keep on doing researches. So water, it is created somewhere, gets evaporated, goes up to the sky, just like the fire. It goes to mingle with the resources, its source, that sun, water also goes up after being evaporated, goes and forms the cloud, then again moves on, then it is precipitated somewhere in the mountain, again it flows to the, finally to the sea. So this is the cyclical form. And I read it somewhere during the school days. Water, water everywhere, but there is not a single drop of water to drink. This talks about, though Earth's surface is like 71% of the Earth's surface is covered with water, but what about 1/3 of the water is not, like 1/3 of the people of the earth, they are not accessible to water, though they are entitled, but they don't have any choice. They don't have the capacity to access to the drinking water. We are talking about the water, then talking about the drinking water also. Then water has a one-to-one relationship with the health, with the hygienic condition. When I was in the health ministry, my first posting was in the health ministry. And my first assignment was to deal with many other institutions, including All India Institute of Public Health and Hygiene, that is in Calcutta. So during that period, earthquake in Gujarat that happened, and I was in charge of the monitoring cell. So that way, personally, I have come across the people, and they are suffering. Our comparator madam was telling about the entitlement and water, and about the deprived section of the society, how the people in the slum area, they are deprived of their entitlement. And the recent example of COVID is the best example of how the people in the slum area, because of this hindrance to the accessibility to water, had created much problem for them. In if you go by the data, by the facts, as the study by the WHO, like this pandemic was so prominently visible in the slum area, and I can attribute that to the availability of safe drinking water and hygienic conditions. So water plays a pivotal role in everybody's life, and because of that, you can say that the water's like other name is Jivan, the life. And talking about the sanitation, again, today, in fact, I was having a presentation class. That presentation was by the Deputy Secretary level officers. Their topic was Swachh Bharat initiatives, Swachh Bharat Abhijan. And they are talking about what are the ambition, what are the objective, and what are the reason. Because this is not for the first time that we are taking up such subject like sanitation. And the presenter was giving the example of the Indus Valley civilization. Kese, how during the Indus Valley civilization, he was comparing that to the Mesopotamia civilization and the Chinese civilization. So he was drawing a line as far as the town planning is concerned. So there during the presentation, he said that during this Indus Valley civilization, the town planning was in such a way that the drainage system was an inevitable part of the town planning. Then my question was, okay, you are drawing the route to the sanitation. How the India was just maintaining the sanitary conditions in even the prehistoric period. But what about the rural area? Do we have any evidence? Okay, that is the different thing. Then you get the example that if you go to the Swachh Bharat Abhijan, that portal, you will find that this example is there. But evidence about the rural India, that didn't say anything. Okay, anyway, the Swachh Bharat Abhijan that was announced from the rampant of the this Red Fort by none other than the Prime Minister of India. Just see, the Prime Minister of India on the eve of Independence Day, from the rampant of the Red Fort, announcing, talking about the toilet problems. Though for a layman, a layperson, it may sound very, very loose term. That's what exactly the Prime Minister also said it on that occasion. See how it has different parameters like manual scavenging, dignity of labor, as Emile Durkheim said, the French sociologist. Then about the school dropouts, the rate of school dropouts because of the girl child, how after a certain stage, after the completion of the elementary education, is a certain stage during a period, the girl child, the drop rate is very, very high. Another component of this Swachh Bharat Abhijan is the dignity of women folks. They used to go for Swachh in open. You go to the rural area. So it addresses so many aspects about the health condition. You must be remembering how at the time of Rajiv Gandhi, when Rajiv Gandhi was the Prime Minister, there was a mission called technical mission, not technical mission. That is when the drinking water project and sanitation and health project, they were taken together in a very integrated form. That was in the mission approach. And Sam Pitroda was called from US. He was heading that mission. And I still remember, since I was at that time in the health ministry, how Guinea worm, like if you go to the Bihar, Orissa, Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh area, people used to go and plow their land during the monsoon season. So I understand I have the time limit, so I'll just finish it within a couple of minutes. So they used to be infected by these waterborne diseases. See how water is connected. Drinking water is one component. The simple water, the normal water, it has a component to the health issues. And water for cleaning, washing your hands. I understand that WHO also, it has developed. Like it has an advertisement which is abbreviated into WASH, WASH. So water has, like sanitation, water and peace, all are intertwined. In Tilonia, in Rajasthan, Ajmer district, one project was undertaken by Mr. Bankar Roy. He is a senior IAS officer. His wife's name is Aruna Roy, who was instrumental in bringing this RTI Act 2005 along with Arvind Kejriwal and others. This Bankar Roy, that time he was the DM of Ajmer district. Then what he did, because of the scarcity of water, he developed a technology known as drip irrigation. Of course, it was borrowed from Israel. So drip irrigation means just putting the water drops at the root of your cultivation, your crops. If you take the example of this Tilonia project to the waterlogging project of our Punjab, Accra Dam project, because of the dam projects, what happened? The problem of multiple cropping. We got a lot of benefit of the multiple cropping because of the extension of agricultural implements and availability of water resource. We developed multiple cropping, high yielding variety. But what was the fallout? The problem was the problem of waterlogging. See, because of abundance supply of water, a different kind of problem is there. Because of the scarcity of problem, different kind of problem is there. So water, if it is plentifully available, it is a problem. If it is not available, it is a problem. So judiciously, we have to maintain a balance. Not only it is confined to water, it is for all the components, all the elements of nature, which are fundamentals for the human existence. So, friends, I won't be going detail into Swachh Bharat mission, though I have the PPT and I used to teach the Swachh Bharat. I won't be going because that will be too much academic, and moreover, it is the discussion today, or the deliberation, the topic today is not up to that level. So, the third part of the topic today, the thematic area, is conflict and conflict resolution. Conflict arising out of the disputes for distribution of water, judicious distribution of water, and maintenance of sanitation. As you know, at the global level, at the local level, everywhere there is dispute. There is dispute of water in Krishna River, distribution Krishna, Godavari, Kaveri, Mahanadi. We have the problem with Chhattisgarh and Odisha. And we have the problem with, like Bihar has problem with Jharkhand. And we have international problems, like if you go to Brazil, if you go to Canada, USA. And incidentally, I have the opportunity of traveling to more than 65 countries in the world. And I have stayed there. I have got the education as Comparator Madam was telling. And so that way I have the first-hand experience. I have moved to different parts of those riverbeds also. So what I gather from my experience is that water is very, very fundamental. It's life. What else it can be defined? It is life. And if water is not there, the question of life doesn't exist. And this evening, I would extend my sincere thanks to Dr. Rajarao, my good friend, and so many times, so many platforms and many gatherings we used to discuss about so many things. And I am very, very happy that he has brought out such an SDG goal. We have different goals, and this goal I consider as a pivotal for the existence of Earth, not only any living beings, but Earth. Thank you. Thank you all.
Yeah, truly, Devendra Maji has already put the stage on blaze with so many important coordination and topics about water and sanitation, that this is the most pivotal part of the SDG goal, which I have been saying. And we need all to take care and see that clean water reaches out to each and every part of the globe, not only in our country, but also to in the globe throughout. So on that note, we also have another very amazing speaker with us, our chief guest for the evening. So it's my request to all the viewers who are watching us live that don't go anywhere. Today you have a lot of takeaways, and it's a request, if you want, you can sit with your pen and paper to write down what they have been doing and what you can do to implement and bring around the change. So we have another very impactful speaker with us today as a chief guest for the evening, Mr. Kamal Kanta Sahu, sir, presently working as the head Orissa chapter FIEO set up by Ministry of Commerce, Government of India. He had already finished with his deputation for 2 years in OSIC, a government Orissa undertaking, Katak to be filled in GI for Orissa, Rasagola at Chennai, and 2018 along with Sri Ratnakant Rao, ISMD OSIC, 1 year at CTTC, Ministry of MSME, Government of India. He had requested for Orissa Rajtapani Bhavan at Bhubaneswar to provide single window facilities to the exporters of Orissa under one roof before Sri B.K. Patnaik and ISX Chief Secretary of Orissa. In his special effort to Bhubaneswar is declared as a town of excellency for the seafood industry as per the Foreign Trade Policy MOCGOI. He has also introduced the certificate program in import and export management at Utkal University 2004 and logistics supply chain management, port and ship management, materials management, and store and warehousing management at IEDO. He sent many Orissa exporters to various countries. So he is the one and only. We have a very, very dynamic personality today, this evening with us, Mr. Kamal Kanta Sahu, the Federation of Indian Export Organization, Ministry of Commerce, Government of India, and also the Orissa chapter head, sir, with a very, very great heart. We are trying to welcome you in our platform. We know we can keep on saying about you, loads of other achievements you have done, not only for Orissa, but also in our country, bringing about the change. And we would love to know from you what else can be done to bring about the clean water and sanitization. So the virtual platform is all yours, sir, so you can move ahead. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us and giving us your valuable time. And now we are super, super excited to listen from you about what else can be done for this SDG Goal 6.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you very much that you have given me wonderful opportunities to share my personal experience in this topic. And basically, my background is to facilitate the trade, to promote the export from the state of Odisha. And my experience is last 20-year experience in the foreign trade. And I used to make new exporters for our state, for our country. And in future, they'll go for the export business, come and can realize the foreign currency. This is the basic objective of my office. But the topic is a little bit different, which is very close to my heart, because a couple of years back with my friends, couple of friends who have started to create awareness among the peoples of Odisha in our Bhubaneswar city. in a small way, not in a bigger way, to stand in the roadside to promote to keep the water, to keep the water for our future generations. And the importance of the water, the importance of basically for the clean water. We used to do this awareness program, but we have not get that tough of success which we have dreamed for that. And as you know that the topic is clean water and sanitation, two sisters of all the human beings. They are the brothers and sisters because they touch all the human beings. Also, as you know that in the world, more than 800 crores population in our world, and water is necessary for each and every one. Leonardo da Vinci once stated that water is the driving force of all the nature, is really. Because without water, as you know that what is going to be happening. And Majisa told me that, told us that 1/3 the world, the 1/3 is the water, rest of it is our land. So if you compare to the, if you're talking about the water in our country, it is only the 4%. If you think, enter the world, they have the water and the sweet water, which is available in our world. It is only the one bucket of clean water is available. And India is facing lots of scarcity of waters. You know that couple of years back, the scarcity of water in 21 cities like Bangalore, Hyderabad, Chennai, Delhi, the consumption of water is huge. And India is suffering from the worst water crisis in its history. Almost 600 millions of its populations is water deprived. In rural, if you go to the rural area, 80 to 90% of drinking water needs are fulfilled by the groundwater resource. As you know that ground resource, we are not reserving the water. We are just get the waters from the ground level, we are consuming, but you are not we are not repack to the mother earth to keep. If you go to the Dubai, you'll find because they save the water in the Dubai and all, they save the water for the next generation. I'm talking about the 2010 when I was in Muscat and Oman. The people said the country is saving the water for the next generation. And as you know that now the country is suffering of water. And recently, Prime Minister, a couple of years back, visited to Israel. They have developed a technology not to wastage of a drop of water. They proved to the world the importance of a drop of water. The drop of water they are using for their agriculture sectors. Single drop of water. So all of us should realize the importance of the water. A man can sustain, a man can live for it 1 month or 10 days, but without water, human beings cannot survive for one day. If you're talking about what is the groundwater we are using for our cultivations, 70% of Indians farmers is rain-fed, but yet 65% of its total rainfall ends of the sea. As you know that, even also in Orissa is struggling for the water. We have a Mahanadi river, and we have a dispute with the Chhattisgarh. They have kept their water, the running water, they block the water there. But the rest of the parts of the Orissa, they are not getting the water. No doubt in our, because we are staying in our capital of the state, we are not facing any problem for the water. But the rural belt, enter the belt is suffering a water. As you know that taking the bucket of water, they have to run for 3 to 4 kilometers to get the waters and all. So we must realize this importance of the water. And as you know that I belongs to the industry and promotion of export. So water is get connected and all. Many industries have taken the water. The water, the wastewater came from the industries. It's really horrible. The wastewater is coming, and this is mixed with the clean water and all. And again, it will get polluted and all. The thing is that the need of the hour is that It's human. All these are human errors only. If you want, suppose the government, because we all are the government, the stakeholders of the government. Each and every man, every stakeholder should be the get little bit responsible for our next generation. We are not talking about ourselves. We are just, you should have to think about the next generation. What is our sons and our next generation will be survive if you don't have the water and all. As you know that in 2070 you will not get a water for the industry. Even also you will not get a water to clean. The ladies cannot wash their head because you will not get a water. If you will not get a water, you will not get the scarcity of water in 2070, as Abdul Kalam has said in a slides. You will not, that time you will not get the water because you will not get a water to drink. So many difficulties will have. Water will be coming. You will not clean your hair. Less water will get. So many diseases will be. You will attract so many diseases for this water and all. And people treat water as a commons. They don't think it's a precious for us. As you know that water should be treated as a commodity. Recently in US, in America, US, water is registered as a commodity. They have registered in the commodity stock exchange. Just imagine. In US, water is treated as a commodity and that get registered with the stock exchange. Because recently, crisis in California, the water crisis, they have imagined, just imagine, they have treated as a commodity. Whatever the waters we are spending, we should have to reback to the nature. Then only this can be survive and all. As you know that Government of India, after Government of India, we are, you know that we are all Indians are, our Prime Minister is always focused for the Vasudev Kutumbakam. With this message we are spreading all over the world and all. Recently, Prime Minister has visited to many countries, you know that France and Denmark, they have only the topic was not for the trade, but the topic was the green energy, the wind energy, solar energy, all this water management, all the sanitation. These are the main topics because these are the areas which a future connectivity there. We have to think about this because these are the challenges is coming in the near future. The Prime Minister is a very futuristic. He knows what is going to be happen and all. Trade is will be there, but these are those human beings should be live with this. And as you know that Government of India has taken more initiative for the Jal Jeevan Mission. They have billions of rupees, 2,87,000 crores. You know, they have sanctioned and Jal Shakti mission. They have lots of ministry. They have created a ministry who is looking after the clean water and water management. They have PA. Even also when I was working for the CTDC, Central Tournament Training Center, which we were working at that time, the messages came to the PM office that you have developed so many things. You have developed for the technology and what you have developed in the agriculture sector, what you have done in the water management system. These are the area you must have to focus. As you know that each and every department of the ministry, each and they are focused for the startups. They are focused with the Stand Up India. They are focused to increase their, you know, that so many areas for the softwares, IT, everything. But few of them, nobody is thinking about the water management, clean water, and sanitation. What are the innovation they have? The young people should come forward to innovation to create innovations for the water management systems and all, because these are the areas which can bring lots of revenue for your organizations. These are the very futuristic business here, and Government of India is, as you know, that focus for these areas and all. And if you're talking about the sanitations, and as you know that on that missions also Government of India is focused for the supply the water to each and every households in our country. And if you're talking about the sanitizations, Prime Minister in his campaign, this Prime Minister is a little bit, he knows the future and all, what is going to be happen and all. And this Prime Minister in his campaign is told that toilet first, temple later. These are the message. Just imagine the importance of the toilet sanitation and all. After the corona, that people get to, because it's huge, because 1 crore 30 crores population is not this small, that is it's not a small in figure. 130 crores population taking to their, as you know that you cannot satisfy your family members, you cannot satisfy your son, you cannot satisfy your daughter, you cannot satisfy the demands and all. Taking to the 130 crores populations to satisfy, to fulfill their wishes is quite difficult. But this Prime Minister is very professional, and he knows how to handle and those. After he came, he knows the management system or that your sanitation here. So he started the Swachh Bharat mission. They have started, and people are that me in my age, and we are not care for that sanitation and all. We just take it very easily. But when this Prime Minister came, we came to the importance of the sanitizations. Even also when my children at the age of 5 or 6, when they have a samosa and in the paper plate or a leaf plate, they throw it. And I'm standing there, and I told them, get that and put it in the dustbin. So another people that man is getting mad. It will not happen, because we need to teach them. Now this my children are not, they're not throwing here and there. They know the importance of that. I must urge that all the peoples, because the peoples are in a different forum, you are talking in a different forums in the world. My request is that government should be, the message should be going to the government that regarding the water management, what is the importance of water? What is the importance of sanitation? A curriculum model should be developed in a photography, in a graphic mode, because people not take more interested for that. A topic should be included on that, and it should be some marks. And it should be a little bit examination should be, because they can, from the childhood self, they can know the importance of the water, they can know the importance of the sanitation. From the childhood, they can learn till their life, because they can teach others peoples also. And as you know that building, toilet building regulation have started when 2014-15, it was less than 50%, but in 1920 it was 100%. We have covered. Government of India has covered more than 100%. They have covered and all. And lots of sanitation. You say teachers, that in the school level peoples, and because this sanitation is not a government role. Government cannot do everything. Government cannot do everything for it. It's a responsibility of all government people, some stakeholders of NGOs, and all the stakeholders, all the citizens of India. They are held responsible for the water management. Even also, I wasted the water, but when I came to my mind, stop this water and all, because each and every body should be accountability for the water and for the sanitation. You have to change your mind. You have to act in the society. Each and every should be a example for other. Think about yourself. Clean for the water and sanitation, and definitely, because we Indians are the best in the world. You go to USA, you go to Microsoft, you go to HP, you go to NASA, you go anywhere over the world. Indian peoples are the best peoples in the world, and India is the best place to survive. We have to maintain it for our next generation, and we love our India. Jai Hind. Jai Hind. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir. That was really, really amazing. And to know from you and from your own experience, it's really wonderful that people across the globe are doing so many things about the clean water and sanitization. And we can also know from sir that how much he had started it from home. So that is what I was saying, that we cannot put on blaming on the government, doing this, doing that. What is your contribution? What are you inculcating as a person? Like sir said, he had started it from his home with his own kids. And that is what is important. That is really the need of an hour right now, for ourselves to know that what is our responsibility. We cannot shoulder our responsibilities on others, stating that they have to do it. If they are not doing, then we will not be able to make the move. So this is going to create a lot of pressure and problem if each of us tries to shudder their responsibility on others. I just remember listening to sir, one of the National Film Award holder, Budhian Mukherjee. I just had seen a film about the importance of water. The way he had made that small film, it was about the importance of water, that how in Rajasthan, the small movie had said it all actually, that in Rajasthan, how in the desert people in India, it's the desert that in Rajasthan. So there the people are coming, taking their, the matkas on their head. They travel long distances for acres and acres of land to search, go and get their drinking water. And whereas there was this washroom in Mumbai, India, where there is a small child who is just in the washroom taking a bath. And he is just wasting. The water is coming out from the, the pipe, and it's just getting flooded and flown away, like the water behind my screen also. So we have swimming pools, we have water. There are certain places where there is ample of water, but there are certain places where there is drought. Why can't we try to systemize and take only what is necessary for us and keep or distribute the remaining where it is needed? Then only there won't be scarcity of water, and everyone will get. That movie had shown it all, that in one place, all the people are running for water. They're going long distances, whereas this washroom is kept in the middle of this, in the desert, this washroom, and there is this ladies who comes inside in the washroom, and when they open the tap, it's just bathing water, but they are so excited. They start drinking, they start bathing. They've never bathed for so many months together. So this is how we do and how we misuse the resources which we have. And we do not think about the future. It's high time. It's really high time. And it's a need of an hour that we all should understand our responsibilities and not shoulder it to others. Thank you so much, sir, for your valuable time and discussing with us about the importance of the goal number 6. So on that note, we have another amazing speaker along.
Professor Rachna, just Professor Rachna, if you permit, can I leave because another meeting is there?
Okay, sir.
Because
Thank you so much, sir.
Here.
Okay.
If you don't mind,
Thank
please.
No, sir. It's okay, sir. Thank you so much for joining
great
us.
opportunity for me. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Joining us. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for joining us. Okay, so now we have another amazing speaker. So as you have already heard from Sir, Sahu sir, what he had to say. Now we have another amazing and erudite speaker with us who has joined us all the way from Sikkim Professional University, the registrar from there, Dr. Beenu Thomas Chandy. She is our chief guest today for the evening, MA in Sociology, MA in Travel and Tourism Management, B.Ed, MPhil, Sociology, PhD. Dr. Beenu Thomas Chandy, MPhil, PhD, B.Ed, is a renowned mentor who played a significant role in students' life and education for 3 decades in Sikkim. She is a person with wisdom and determination to dedicate herself to educating the future generation. She also started a career in Scottish Missionary School, Plazor, Namgyal Senior Secondary School, PNG SS under Ms. I.M. Richard, and her role as a teacher is both significant and valuable. She has worked in various committees in the school where she was the examinations in charge and headed the team conducting other co-curricular activities. So welcome, ma'am, on this platform of Global World Peace Summit. And we are really awaiting to listen from you about SDG Goal 6 and how we can make it more towards the goal and prosperous by 2030. So the virtual platform is all yours, ma'am.
Thank you, Professor Rachna, for the elaborate introduction of NIME today in this platform. I'm really honored and privileged to be here with the eminent speakers, chief guests, and such a eminent institution like the Vishwa Humanity United International Royal Council. And I really appreciate the work that has been undergone by Dr. Raja Rao Pajidipalli, Chairman, and the very eminent Professor Dr. Caroline, who is the president of this organization, to host such a big event for 18 days, and the topics on each of these days are really very valuable for the present society, and it is the need of the hour. So thank you so much, and I'm really honored to be here. And I would like to speak on the topic today, which is ensure availability and sustainable management of water and sanitation for all, which is the need of the hour. So as we know that water is a critical need for all aspects of life on earth and underpins the sustainability of national economy, society, and the environment. Factors such as population growth, climate change, and rainfall variability, land use changes, water pollution, institutional arrangements, and water demand for food production affect future water availability and security. Sustainable water means a nation that can be made self-sufficient, ensuring there is enough water to meet the multiple needs of human beings, all the living beings, from agriculture to municipal and industrial needs. Sustainable water management is using water in a way that meets current ecological, social, and at the core of sustainable development, and is critical for socio-economic development, health ecosystem, and for human survival itself. It is vital for reducing the global burden of disease and improving the health, welfare, and productivity of the populations. Sustainable water management is increasingly important, and we need innovation in technology, policy, and in this institutional arrangements to cope with the future water scarcity and drive increased water use efficiency and productivity, as well as environmental and social outcomes in the longer term. This sustainable water resource management, it can address issues, challenges, and solutions of water resource management in both urban and rural contexts, and will particularly deal with the sustainable aspects of water resources management as influenced by climate change, population, and economic growth impacts on the ground, and suffers water quality and quantity, and the developments in water use and reuse methods. That is very important. How you use water, how it can be reused. What are the methods that can be used to reuse the water? Also, as per the studies related to political and social economic challenges and constraints, agricultural and urban water management, river and waterway health, surface and groundwater interactions, managed aquifer recharge and storage, and water management strategies for green growth are equally welcomed. The objectives Now, let me discuss about the objectives. The objectives of water management practices are diverse. Practices include leading excess water away from the fields, slowing down water flow with natural stream beds, forming buffer areas for flood water, and storing water for irrigation, contributing to water protection in several ways. So that is the need of the hour. We need to protect water in whatever ways that we could do. Now, water management. What is water management? Water management is also equally important since it helps different future irrigation expectations. So water management, when you say it, is the management of water resources under set policies and regulations. Water, once an abundant natural resource, it was an abundant natural resource. Now, because of the human activity, now it is getting scarce. So water, once an abundant natural resource, is becoming a more valuable commodity due to the droughts and overuse. That is the main thing, drought and overuse. So drought is because of the climate change. Now, what are the ways of water management? Reuse or conservation of water helps to recycle groundwater by reducing the consumption and using alternative water resources. This approach involves the irrigation of rainwater, groundwater depletion, grey water reuse, and wastewater cycling. Now, let me just tell you about the 4 ways of water management. Methods of water management can be classified as conservation. Main thing, conservation, allocation, retrofit program, and behavioral practices. So different types of processes where we can manage water. Now, management of water, again, it includes treatment of drinking water. That is very important. Industrial water, sewage or wastewater, management of water resource management, resources, management of flood protection, management of irrigation, and management of water table. That is very important. Access to water and sanitation are basic human rights and are critical sustainable development challenges. These challenges are worsened and the impacts on people will increase on competing demands for clean, fresh water, agriculture, households, energy generation, then industrial use, ecosystem, etc. are exacerbated by the effects of climate change. This is basically all these problems are due to the climate change. And this climate change is because of the human activity. The effects of climate change putting more pressure on water quality and availability. These conditions will create increased risk for businesses, governments, communities, and the environment. Harvested and filtered rainwater could be used for toilets, so that way you can save some fresh water, home gardening, lawn irrigation, and small-scale agriculture. Water butts and guttering can be used to collect rainwater. Farmers could switch from using open canals and flood irrigations. Now, how can we use water resources more sustainably? Reducing water use through waterless toilets. So that is one thing. If you use waterless toilets, there we are saving some water. Water efficient appliances, water quantity, monitoring is an important part of sustainability for domestic water supply. Efficient piping system. See, we have pipe system, which is, we are wasting water through the leaks. So efficient piping system is very important that are leak free and well insulated, provide a network that is reliable and help to limit water waste. So we can limit this water waste through the leakage through the pipe. Putting a brick or container of water in a regular toilet tank will reduce the amount of water used in each flush by reducing the amount of water that the tank can hold. Bath or shower water can be reused. So in Australia, I was there in Australia for a few years. So I found every house has a rainwater harvesting system, and then the grey waters are all being collected and it is being used for the irrigation. That is what the plants that you have at your home. So thereby, because they had a very bad drought for at least 4-5 years, and people use very little. I feel very embarrassed when they use very little water for cleaning their plates even. But Indian food is so different from what their food is that we can't use little water to wash our utensils. But this is also one tip that I found. Putting putting a brick or container in a container of water in a regular water tank will reduce the amount of water which is being used in each flush by reducing the amount of water that can hold. Then next one is bath or shower water can be used, which I said just now in Australia. And this is also called as grey water. It is suitable for water lawns or plants, fruit trees, etc. Our focus should be on ensuring a clean and stable water supply and effective water sanitation for all. The goal is a reaction to the fact that many people throughout the world lack these basic services. About 40% of the world's population is affected by a lack of water. As global temperatures rise, that total is expected to increase. Now we find that every year the global temperature is increasing. So thereby we can come to a conclusion that the total is expected to increase. Already, some of the poor countries in the world are affected by drought, resulting in famine and malnutrition. It's all a chain of processes that happens. Throughout the world, about 1.7 billion people live in watershed where the water is used faster than the watershed can be replenished. In an effort to reach the targets outlined by SDG 6, some water companies have installed smart meters. So that is also there. We have in India also smart meters that have been installed in places where water scarcity is a concern. These meters track and charge for every drop of water used in the household, which has led to high water conservation in countries like the African countries, Zambia and Tanzania. Then we have the CEO of one of the such companies where the payment, e-water pay, claims that these meters have reduced water waste by 99%. Compounding the problem of water scarcity is the lack of reliable sanitation throughout the world. More than 2 billion people worldwide lack basic sanitation. Now I'm just coming to sanitation services such as simple latrines or toilets. More than 890 million of those people live in regions where open defecation occurs. This means the human waste is left in the open. That is very sad. Even we have in India, remote areas, all these things are happening. Adding to the issues is the fact that 80% of wastewater throughout the planet is emptied into the ocean or rivers without proper waste removal. Now, when we talk about the SDG 6, calls for ensuring universal access to safe and affordable drinking water, sanitation and hygiene, and ending open defecation. It also aims to improve water quality, water use efficiency, and to encourage sustainable abstractions and supply of fresh water. Now, how can the students get clean water and sanitation? That is another in all schools and colleges and universities. Promote good hygiene habits through education. So my field, I'm just talking about that. Proper hand washing with soap and water can reduce diarrhea cases up to 35%. Implement rainwater harvesting system to collect and store rainwater for drinking or recharging underground aquifers. Build wells to extract groundwater from underground aquifers. So nowadays this flat system has come. So there is the water that has been sent by the government authorities. They have to really save. Now last, sanitation. It is defined as a provision, as I told you, facilities and services for the safe disposal of human urine and feces. and it differs from hygiene in that it provides the means for people to be hygienic. Now, proper sanitation, when I talk about it, promotes health, improves the quality of environment, and thus the quality of life in a community. It also refers to safe collection, transportation, and treatment of the disposal of human waste. That is very important. Basic sanitation is defined as having access to facilities for safe disposal of human waste, that is and urine. Then many countries face challenges in providing adequate sanitation for their entire population, leaving people at a risk for diseases related to water, sanitation, and hygiene. Now, let me just tell you about water pollution and wastewater. It is estimated that vast majority of world's wastewater is released into water bodies. That is the saddest part, without any kind of treatment. An estimate suggests that if the natural environment continues to be degraded and unsustainable pressures put on global water resources. Then next that I would like to talk about the water resource that we have in Sikkim. The Teesta is a major river system in the state. Rathanchu is a river in the Indian state of Sikkim that is the main source of water for the state capital. And Sikkim is known for its substantial water resources. However, due to rapid growth of population and industry, now tourism industry is growing, so too many people we have. So there is a stress on these resources, both quantitatively and qualitatively. A series of trenches along hill slopes hold rainwater and recharge our aquifers, which revive our Dara and Kola, that is the waterfalls. Then Sustainable Development Goals 6 goes beyond drinking water, sanitation and hygiene to also address the quality and sustainability of water resources, which are critical to the survival of people and the planet. So now the 2030 agenda recognizes the centrality of water resources to sustainable development and vital role that improved drinking water, sanitation, hygiene play in progress in other areas, including health, education, and poverty reduction. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. And that was really so very informative. And I think the listeners, those who were listening, they too had a lot of takeaways from this. And especially when ma'am had said about the part that we need to train the younger generation about the importance of sanitization. That is very, very important because we can reduce the diseases with the help of sanitization. So if we do not teach them the importance, I remember that the school is the best institution where we can start, as well as home. From these two institutions, if we start with our presentation and if we go on showing the importance of it, then surely we can bring around the change. Excuse me. So we all should be able to see the change and, bring which we want to bring it around. So we first should try to bring that change. And the points which ma'am had given today, that was brilliantly projected. And every single points which ma'am had said is really something which we all need to implement, not only in one particular field, but everywhere it should be implemented so that we can enjoy the water everywhere. So it will not be only kept for a few segregated people. It will be distributed amongst the globe wherever people need it. So without water, we cannot survive. It's true. Like already Sir had said that water, as the famous poem of S.T. Coleridge, the rhyme of the ancient mariner, I can't just forget those lines. Always it keeps on buzzing whenever the SDG 6 goal comes, as well as along with that, correlated to that, the poem from rhyme of the ancient mariner, that is water, water everywhere, but not a single drop to drink. So this is really very, very painful. All the boards did shrink, water, water everywhere, nor any drop to drink. So it is really pitiful that there is water. We cannot say that God has not blessed us with water. Otherwise, the planet would not have survived. Our earth would not have survived. a human body, we know the percentage of water, the amount of water which a human body has is also more than the other biological developments. So water percentage is always very, very important, and water is around us. Only we needed to distribute it to the correct persons. So on that note, thank you so much, Binu ma'am, for those informative sessions. And you always are a very good speaker. And I admire the way you just, bang on the topic. And the pointers which you bring around is really, really very, very important, which we all need to realize right now. It's a real shout out to everyone who have not yet started. So ma'am had given a very excellent speech. Thank you so much, ma'am, for joining us tonight. And I just hope that we will have more such informative towards this session as continued. This evening is going to be more enlightened with knowledge. And people like you have, given a totally set fire to the platform already, giving us the pointers and taking this SDG goal number 6 to such a level. On that note, we have a next chief guest joining us on the same topic, sharing her views on SDG goal number 6, a very eminent personality, Dr. Manju Gupta. Ma'am, are you there?
Yes, I'm there.
Yeah,
I'm waiting for my turn since long. Yeah.
Oh, wow, ma'am. We too are super excited to listen from you. Dr. Manju Gupta is the Dean Academics of IMS Noida and 21 years of rich multicultural experience with education industry and the strong credentials rolling out in innovative teaching methods, online trainings, business strategies, operational excellence across the diverse functional disciplines. She is the chairperson for the Center of Excellence for Innovation in Skill Development, and there are several more. The chief convener for the Center of International Languages, French, Japanese, English, mentor for innovation and skill development program in Mission Mentors, a portal for promotion of top educational institutions, founding member of an online learner platform, and a member of sexual harassment of women POSH, and an academic advisory cell at a workplace. So there are many more. I cannot keep on, counting. My numbers will drop down and I'll fail in counting about ma'am's achievements as a person in her career, in her life. She has made a deep and a huge impact in the life of others. So we would now love to listen from you, ma'am, about SDG Goal 6. And we welcome you wholeheartedly, heart and soul, to this platform. So over to you, ma'am, for more information about SDG Goal.
Thank you very much. I would request you to give me the presenter rights.
Yeah, surely. Yeah, so, yeah, okay.
Just a second. Huh? Can you see me?
Yes, ma'am, we can see you, but not your screen.
Okay. I've shared my presentation with Raja Rao, sir. Can you share that presentation?
You can share it with me also.
Oh. Okay, just a second.
Any problem, you can share it with me also. I can share it.
Okay, anyhow, I'll start with my before this. Yeah. Good evening, everyone. I, Dr. Manju Gupta. I'm really very happy to Professor Raja Rao and Dr. Caroline, who has given me this opportunity to speak about water and sanitization. So being a member of Rotary India Sanitization Mission, I would really like to give you the complete report of how this Rotary India Sanitization Mission is working. So we already know that India has achieved status in 2009 of ODF, where many households still lack individual toilets. Many household toilets are not functional and are not being used. So only 3.27 lakh households in the country have tap water connection. Only 45.5% out of 15.5 lakhs total number of schools in India have hand washing facilities with soap. So 7% of the total 31,000 healthcare facility in India don't have even water, and 45% have no sanitization. So this has been recent report which has been taken by Rotary India Sanitization Mission. But if you look at the statistic of India, approx 3.87 crore children are stunted. 30 crore people are they are not using these open toilets. 32 lakh children have never been to school. 50,000 children die every day before they even turns 5. So what are the reason, and how as this development sustainable development goal, which is the 6th goal, I mean, how we can contribute to overcome the situation, we as an individualist as well as society at large, and of course this NGO and different forum has to come forward to take this initiative at, in hand. So if you look at the Indian global footprints, 1/3 of world stunted children in India are there. So 1/3 of world populations are defectious in India. So how this defecation work, and how this 40% of world children marriages in India is happening? So 28% of world neonatal deaths are happening in India. So almost 22% of world US deaths and 20% of maternal deaths in India is happening. So this is really very alarming situation when we have to look for the F diagrams also. Now, how this Rotary in India Sanitization Mission is working? So we actually supporting the government of India to resolve to provide sanitization access to every individual and safe drinking water to every household in India. As one of my speaker has already said, this is not only the initiative which has to be taken by the government. We individual has to come forward. We also be very responsible towards how we are using the water and how the sanitization process we are taking care of. So I think my presentation is already there. So if we look at the verticals, which is under Rotary India Sanitization Missions, you can come to the fifth slide. Yeah, please keep it here only. Yeah, please. So what I was explaining that how this Rotary India Sanitation Mission is working. So we are actually supporting government of India to resolve to provide sanitization access to every individual and safe drinking water to every household in India. And what are the different verticals under this Rotary India Sanitization Mission? So we generally have been the ODF plus villages. We have individual household tap connection, wash in school, wash in healthcare facility, community and public toilet constructions. So these are different verticals which are coming under Rotary India Mission sessions. So now what is this ODF plus strategy for villages? Because we know that villages are impacted at large because of this lack of sanitization and of course lack of drinking water. So almost 39% of rural sanitization coverage in 2014 has been covered in Government of India. Now it has been to 28%, so which has been reduced comparatively as compared to the earlier versions. And we have opened defecation-free declaration by rural India on 2nd October 2019. So we have already declared that India is a defecation-free country. Over 10 crore household toilets are constructed. Approximately 6 lakh villages and 706 districts has already been covered under this mission. So Government of India has launched a new strategy in 2019, so which is working very fine. So I'm sure for 2022 or 2023, we have a lot of things has already been planned, and we are working very rigorously for giving all these facilities to the village community. So what are the different elements of these villages? So generally I explained to in the previous session also. So the sustained usage of individual household, latrines are there. Sanitization coverage of all the household, including the constructions of, IHL in new household. So there should be a retrofitting of existing toilet, construction of community and public toilets wherever required. So sustained development, behavioral changes, communication is actually very, very essential. So as Raja Rao sir has already explained during his inaugural speech, that we need to be very, very responsible towards the society. And we have to be very careful that how we are using our natural resources and how we are protecting our natural resources. So what are the different, elements of this ODF plus villages? So I told you that sanitization coverage of public spaces, school, healthcare facility should be, comes under this coverage. And generally, waste management is one of the most eminent, these days, the whole talk we are talking about how we can do the waste segregation, waste management can be done, which is the basic principle. And we are focusing on segregation of waste at source and how we are reducing, reuse, recycle, recover, all this refuse paradigm. So generally, the component of SLWM is basically biodegradable waste management, plastic waste management, grey water management, and fecal sludge management. So these are the basic components which we need to be catered, and how these components can, how this element can be more, reduced, and we can be into a good society. So basically, biodegradable waste management is composing at the household level, we are composing at the village level, and IC campaign. So these campaign has been done by the Rotary Group of India, and we are supporting India at large, society, and of course the country beneficiaries, I can say. So then we have plastic waste management, where segregation, collection, disposable treatment, IC campaign. Again, IC campaign is one of the most important campaign which has to be run by this Rotary Club, Rotary Society of India, I can say, to support the government for this, SDG goal number 6. Then we have this. I can go. You can go to the next slide. Yeah, please. So then we have grey water management, where community level through soak pits or leach pits. I'm sure this is one of the very scarcity in cases of village, that we can see that different soak pits or leach pits are there, which is very dangerous to the health and health for the society. And at village level, we see that conveyance through pipes or existing open drains are there, and treatment of grey water before drain discharge into water bodies. So these are very, very alarming situations. And then it has already been explained and discussed that we all have to come forward, and we need to work for a sustainable society at large. Then at last we have facial sludge management, where twin pit toilet technology is already there. Single pit upgraded into twin pit technology is also there. Septic tanks, which is added soak pit or sludging at periodic interval of 3.3 or 5 years. So this mission has taken at large, and we are really, really supporting to the community, and of course to the country, sanitization and this pit holes, which is continuously increasing and impacting the society. Then Government of India has already announced this Jal Jeevan Mission. We call it as JJM, which is again a functional household tap connections in every rural household. We call it as Har Ghar Nal Se Jal, right? This is one of the slogan of Government of India, where Rotary has opened already opportunities and working hand in hand with the Government of India. So basically, what exactly is the Jal Jeevan Mission, which is announced by the Government of India, where pipe water connection is only to 3.27 crore rural household out of 17.87 rural households as on March 2019. It was there, but then it has reduced now to 14.87 crore. So Government of India has already launched Jal Jeevan Mission in 2019. So I'm sure by this time, we are in 2022, this we have already reached to this mission, which has already been announced by the Government of India. So functional household tap connection to every rural household, which was Har Ghar Nal Se Jal by 2024. So this is the mission of government, and of course Narendra Modi ji, that we have to provide basic facility of drinking water to every household by 2024. If you look at the state-wise tap connections, this is continuously increasing. So India is comparatively at a very good position, but then we need to look at the community at large, that what are the different, again, the, opportunities we need to find out, and how we can overcome the situation which is impacting the society. So then I think this mission is basically used to give, tap water to every household at the service level of 55 LPCD, and development of reliable drinking water resources, making drinking water portable, retrofitting of pipe water supply scheme, and grey water management. So we need to support different activities and capacity building. If you look at, Government of India has already announced that we need to give LPG to every home, and then, this water facility, drinking water facility to every household, because this is one of the basic necessity which is, which has to be given by the government. So if you look at the scheme cycle of JGM project, there are different phases, phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3. So the basic target of completing these phases in 3 to 6 months. So in phase 1, there was a planning and a mobilization. Phase 2 is basically was the implementation phase, which has been covered in 12 months. And then we have a post-implementation, which will again take 4 months. For villages, and scheme cycle can range from 12 to 18 months from the day of GP resolution. So this has been done, and the Rotary is taking a very, very lead head into this mission to support Government of India. Then we have different broad outcomes where we have reduced waterborne disease in healthy rural community, which was again SDG 6 says that we should have to have a good drinking facility. We have to have a sanitization. So this sanitation is very important because we need to reduce the waterborne disease, and we have to have healthy rural communities. We have to reduce drudgery of women, reduce dropout of upper primary school girls, and we need to increase employment opportunities for rural people. So this is basically the broad outcome of JGM. Then this community and public toilets, which is again a very, very big sanitization mission of India, and Rotary is supporting in this mission where public toilet facilities are provided for the floating population, general public in public places, market, bus and train station, parks, etc. So basically, plenty cost for this PT facility was 98,000 per WCC, and urinal is 32,000 per unit as per GBM guidelines. So which has been already approved in SBM, and so we are supporting to the government again for implementing all these facilities at different villages, at different places, which has already been explained that we are implementing all this at market, bus and different parks and stations. So then if you look at the community toilet, which is again a facility, which is shared facility, which has been provided for a defined group of resident or a community. It is generally located in or near the community area. So tentative basic cost for PT facility was 98,000 per WCC, and urinal is 32,000 per units per SBM guidelines. So this is again one of the mission of this sustainable development goal. So if you look at gender sensitive toilet facility, so it is easily accessible, and there are different features which you can see that menstrual hygiene management, which is again one of the most important aspect of sanitization. So childcare facilities ensure privacy, dignity, and safety. So these are the terms we call it as gender sensitive toilet facility, which is again the basic right of individual of people of the country. So these are the different stages which has been involved in CTs and PTs. So basically field data and analysis, design and construction, cost estimation, sources of funding, contracting, operation and maintenance, and monitoring. So my earlier speaker has already mentioned that we as an individual, we as the good citizen of India has to come forward to take this mission ahead and support the government of India. So similarly on this line, I've been associated with this NGO and doing so many things in terms of sanitization and of course the water conservation. And I recently been associated with this Jal Nigam and the Clean River Ganga with Ministry of Jal Affairs. So I'm quite instrumental in cleaning of our Ganga reserves and different pit holes and water reservations and water surveyors basically. So these are the different facility which has been given in different schools and community at large. So basically, so if you look at the sanitization, so washing in school we call it as WINS, so which refers to water, sanitization and hygiene infrastructure and services in school. We call it as WINS, an acronym for Wash in School, right? Which is a flagship program of Rotary India. So Rotary India is very, very, enthusiastic about this Wash in School campaign, because if we feel that if we are young and children are safe, then of course the community will be definitely in safe hands, I can say. So Rotary in India is engaged in almost 30,000 schools across India for Wash in School, benefiting over 6 million children and 5 million families. So it is an integral part of Wash in School. Target challenge we have launched in 2016, but then we have reached to approximately 60,000 schools nowadays by 2022. And our mission is to reach to 80,000 schools by 2024. So we have this coverage of Wash in Schools. I think 90.7% schools have already functional drinking water facility. 54% of schools have hand washing facility with soap. So I can see that India is progressing and going towards the better sanitization and better, water conservations and water resources, I can say. And then the clean water, which is again the mission of government of India. So these are the different, benefits of washing schools. So children as agent of change, children, healthy generations of children, better education outcome, increase attendance, So if such environment we give to the young community, I'm sure we will build the nation, because young community is mainly instrumental in building the nations. So then we have different kind of segments, like in essential of elements of WIN, where improved capacities are there. Behavioral change communication, which is very, very important elements of WIN. We should have to have a gender segregated toilets. We should provide basic necessity of drinking water, hand washing with soap, and then menstrual hygiene management and operations and maintenance. These are the essential elements of WIN. So which is quite similar to the one which I've already discussed about, how we can provide these facilities different villages. So these are the different success washing school. Different schools are there where there are different engaged stockholders. There, there's a monitor program, evaluate the program. So point is, just taking this initiative ahead is not only the mission. Our mission is to monitor, to evaluate, and to focus on sustainability. We need to look at the implementing, changes. What are the different software changes and hardware changes required? So we need to implement as a, NGO or as a, different. I can say community body, that we should work together and take this mission ahead and support the government. Then there are different alignment with national vision. So Rotary is already aligned with Swachh Vidyalaya program under Swachh Bharat mission. So we already know that what exactly is the Swachh Bharat mission. So Swachh Bharat mission is already associated with Swachh Vidyalaya, right? So government schools, earlier government school was not having such facilities, but now I can say that, by 2024, we will be definitely going to reach our mission, which we have, imagined and planned for our country. So this program will have a 5-star rating system, recognition to clubs and school based on the criteria of Swachh Vidyalaya Puruskar by Ministry of Human Resource Development. So such kind of acknowledgement and awards really motivate you and boost you to do something good for the society. So this initiative has been taken by Ministry of HRD. So Ministry of HRD has opened different entries for different schools. And then we have WIN HCF. This is called as Wash in Healthcare Facilities. So specifically, which is one of the very important, we have seen in COVID that because of lack of such kind of facilities, which was not available with the different hospitals. So we have faced scarcity, and a lot of critical factors has already been, was there in the system. So this is basically the different, wash care facility, where we call it water, sanitation, healthcare, waste management, and then environmental cleaning, infrastructure and services, right? So these are the different part of our healthcare facilities where a newborn child, right? So I already explained you in my research that almost 14,000 children every day die because of all these issues, right? So these issues needs to be taken care of. And how we can take care of all these issues? Alone government cannot take. The government has to be associated with different NGOs, different communities, different society, and of course individual person has to be very responsible for different primary, secondary territories and temporary structure which has been designed for emergency context. And there may be public or private facilities which may be located in urban or rural areas. So these different facilities which need to be provided by the government of India. So I'm sure by 2024, we'll be able to reach to our mission which has been planned. So India has approximately 31,000 healthcare facilities. 7% of these facilities don't have water and 40% have no sanitization. So just think that how we are leading. Because if we are talking about that we have best of the best healthcare facility, but the situation is not so, because I already explained by my research that 7% of all these facilities only have water. So which is again a very, very critical, figure which is coming out of the research. So we have, lack of functional, healthcare facilities. We have reduction in, but then when we as a community, we as a group, and this Rotary Club has taken the initiative to give benefits of washing healthcare facilities. So this, healthcare facilities has improved the death rates, Then, shorter hospital stays has been increased. Earlier, people were staying in the hospital for 10 days or 15 days, but then the same disease can be covered in just 3 or 4 days. This is not only lowering out of the pocket payments, but then it is also giving you the mental stability and the mental well-being. So these, improved hygiene practice should be continued at home also. So this kind of, learnings and lesson has been given at the hospitals and, different, healthcare programs and healthcare facility has been provided. But then again, we need to train ourselves in such a way to our healthcare staff and capacity building programs where we can give them hand hygiene practices. We can give them, different safe waste management systems and, running water and soft cleanings. So such kind of safe and reliable water supply is one of the most element of wash in healthcare facility. So we need to give access of all these facility for patient and staff of all, healthcare institution for different genders and abilities. So I'm sure we are progressing and we are going towards the better future, I can say. So we have partners with different prospective partnership we have already, associated with UNICEF India, World Vision, Sulabh International, Aga Khan Foundations. Then we have, association with PhD Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Indian Sanitation Coalition, Habitat for Humanity, and Give India. Tata Trust and Tata Project Limited also is, have joined with us for this mission, for this Swachh Bharat mission, I can say, which is again the slogan of Narendra Modi ji, who has given this, who decided this country by 2035 should be a sustained country, I can say. So then these are the average project cost, and these costs have already been covered by this group. For Ocean School was approx 2.5 lakh. Community toilet block was 10 lakh, and ODF plus villages approx 25 lakh. So this amount has already been invested, to give such kind of facilities to the society, to the young community, and to the young, students, I can say, which is again very instrumental in building the nation. So I think this is the year-wise goals. So now we have a goal of 2022 to 2023. So this is a 5-year plan actually. So I'm going to show you the 5-year plans, so where we have already achieved 2021 and 2022. So, but then this 23 plan is that we are going to have 1,150 ODF plus villages. We are in a mission of 280 holder tap connections. So 30,000 wash-in schools and 100 wash-in healthcare, 100 community toilets, and 100 is the public toilet. So this is our mission for joining hands and give a safe and sustained country, I can say. So this is all about from my side. So I'm really, really very excited that I'm instrumental in doing something for the society, for the community, and of course contributing my efforts for Sustainable Development Goal 6, which is about clean sanitization and water reservations and water sustainability, I can say. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. That was really wonderful. With all the statistics and what Indian government and Rotary Club has been doing to bring around the sanitization, and including the investment also there involved in it. So it was really, really wonderful to know from you, ma'am, the amount of work which already has been started in the mission to achieve the progress. The statistical data provided by you is really amazing and awesome. And this really shows that if we have, India is already in the mission in the long run, including the community toilets facilities, which we can already experience wherever we go out of our houses. We are traveling, we do not find uncomfortable about the toilets which are right now being maintained. So this community toilets are, this is also very, very important, because if we cannot do that, then again the gender sensitive toilet facilities also there where
I already explained about this gender sensitization and gender able toilets we have already been providing by this group. Yeah,
this is amazing, ma'am. And I think this is really a path to bring about the SDG goal 6. It's the perfect
6
to talk about the water and the sanitization facilities which have already started. Just we need more hands to spread the awareness around. So this can be done only with togetherness. So it's a great shout out to all of you in our country as well as globally also, that we really need to work together, because the goal setters have already started with their work. They are not only just in writing, not in black and white, it's already been implemented. The mission had already started, including the
So
younger
we need to
generation.
complete it by 2035, actually.
Yes. So the work has already been started, and we only need that it should be implemented properly, and the importance should be explained to them so that officials can go to that particular place, because they are, even right now, in spite of doing so much of progress, people are somehow, dilemmic about using the public toilets. They are not ready to use because they are the stereotype. They are, using the outside washrooms and all. So this has to be taught to them, because I remember being a social activist myself, reaching out to the women, teaching them about, the women menstrual hygiene programs, where we were creating the awareness programs where the ladies outside in the street and roads, they were very, very not at all clear about the fact that why the pads has to be used. They were like clear that it's okay, we can just stay like that also. So this, it will take time until unless we can reach out to them and explain the importance of using the public toilets rather than doing it outside in the streets. And that's not an easy way. And even spoiling and soiling the toilet also, whatever water is available, if it can be cleaned on the spot, then of course the officials are there who takes care. It's not that public toilets are made to be just spoiled and misused so that the next person cannot reuse that again, that toilet. So it should be taken care that we all individually, we are aware. And for that, we all need to come up. The work has already started. We are on a mission to progress to bring around clean water and sanitization. Thank you so much, ma'am, for the wonderful presentation and
Thank
with
you
the
so much.
data.
And thanks to Dr. Raja Rao and Professor, Caroline, who invited me to, speak about this topic today.
Yes. Thank you so much, ma'am. We knew the statistics very clearly, which I too was not aware of so much of statistics.
That is why I thought, it's really, really important that people should know that a lot of work is already going on, and different communities and different societies are coming forward to take this mission ahead. But then we need to tell this to the community, and to different groups, so that they get motivated and work toward this goal, and we can achieve this by 2035, I'm sure.
Really hats off to you, ma'am, and your team. Rotary Club, of course, we all know, has been doing from times immemorial for the progress of the country. And with this, coming up with all such ideas about the SDG goal number 6, it's really amazing to know the statistics which you have presented. Thank you so much, ma'am, for providing us with those information.
Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am. So thank you so much. Now we'll come up with our keynote speakers who are all there with us. Our first keynote speaker is Ms. Vilma Barbo, sorry if I pronounced it wrongly. Vilma ma'am from Brazil, who is an international speaker and a dynamic personality. I have met her across in several platforms and a very, very good friend of mine too. I would love to welcome Vilma ma'am on this platform and listen to her views about SDG goal number 6. So I hope Vilma ma'am has already joined. Yeah, of course, with a beautiful smile and amazing personality as she is, an international speaker too. So Vilma ma'am, over to you for SDG goal number 6.
Hi there. It's a pleasure being here again. Thank you so much for the invitation. I'm Vilma Barbosa from Brazil. And today let's talk a little bit about clean water and sanitation. This is something really, really important in our communities, as the doctor was telling before. And I was really, really happy to know that Rotary, she's doing that in her community through Rotary. And I am a part of Rotary here in Brazil as well. And we've been working on some projects. And as in India, we are working here on that goal. And it's amazing because if we do small things in our community, we are doing here in Brazil and they are doing there in India and in many different communities all around the world soon, we will have big changes in our world through small communities. So I'm gonna share my screen and talk a little bit about some problems that we have here in Brazil about the lack of sanitation and clean water in some communities and the problems that we have because of that. Despite all the hard work we've been trying, we have some problems in some communities. So let's get started. Our goal 6 today, clean water and sanitation. Ensure availability and sustainable management of water and sanitation for all. Why the lack of toilets in Brazil is a feminist issue. Only half of Brazilians' population has access to a clean, safe toilet at home. For women especially, the impact can be devastating. Not having a decent toilet is dangerous for some reasons, agrees a spokesperson of WaterAid. It means there is nowhere to treat or manage human waste properly, so germs get into water resources and food, spreading diseases like diarrhea and cholera. It also means people have to go to low outside, which is especially unsafe for women and children. So having no toilet or running water at home also has a significant impact for women's livelihoods, as well as the necessity of water sanitation and hygiene facilities for women and girls' specific needs, such as menstrual hygiene management. These basic rights are essential for their social and economic development and strongly contribute towards gender equality. So if they don't have water at home, they have great problems. Water and poverty, it is completely linked. So increasing access to sanitation, clean water would greatly improve the lives of women in Brazil, says Freitas, the professor that is leading this project. In the short term, women would have both the money and time spent on traveling to medical appointments. It would also enhance their performance in school and at work, increasing their income throughout their life. The money that is wasted due to the lack of sanitation, if returned to women, could lift a large share of them out of poverty, he adds. Having a toilet at home is not just a matter of infrastructure. Either cultural practice and hygiene education play part too. Families may grow up several generations without access to a clean, safe to managed toilet at home. Therefore, see it is as the normal. Here in Brazil, there are many poor communities, and in many of them, people don't have water, clean water, and also they don't have toilet in many places, and then they have to these poor communities are generally next to small forests, and then they go to the forest for their needs of toilet, and this is really sad. When it comes to health, again, women are more disadvantaged by a lack of sanitation than men, according to the Trate Brazil Institute. 120,000 women were hospitalized in 2018 because of diseases linked to sanitation. That's around 10,000 more victims than men. The lack of sanitation affects the health of Brazilian women proportionally more than affects men's health, says Freitas, the professor. In part, this has to do with biological factors because water is important for personal hygiene during menstruation. Women without access to water are also more likely to have urinary tract infections and other diseases. As in many countries, women is seen here in Brazil as one responsible for taking care of the family. When children or the elderly get sick, it is women who often end up helping in their recovery, therefore exposing them to more infections. And then across the world, over 800,000 people are killed a year by disease linked to water and sanitation, according to World Health Organization. On top of this, the financial impact of sanitation-related disease is growing on. Here, this is a project that we are working here in Brazil, community project. in this community, we are working to bring them water and also building some toilets for them. We know that's not easy, but we are working on that. Here in this day, we were preparing some snacks for them and work with the community. But we are trying to build some toilets there in the community and bringing water. We are talking with the town hall to bring them water because we understand that is essential. This is the most important thing that they should have: water and bathroom, because this way they can improve their lives and they can become more healthier. Then working on small projects, we can make a difference. Working in our communities, doing small things, we can make a difference. And then we change our community here, and people change in the community in their countries, small communities. Then little by little, we're going to change the whole world. That's all from my part. Thank you for the opportunity of being here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. That was really, really
thank
wonderful.
you.
Wonderful to know from you. The kind of work has already been started in Brazil and India. We are seeing already. So we know that all the countries have been trying to do their kind of work, not only giving work or employment, but even giving them proper sanitation and clean water. That should be the main target of globally, because without that, we cannot start any other work. If we are not able to provide clean drinking water and sanitization, we cannot reduce the rate of diseases around. And as a result, there will be a lot of problem and the health issues will keep on multiplying more and more. So thank you so much, Vilma ma'am, about giving that lovely presentation. And we would all love to get that presentation from you in details also later on, because that's so much pretty understandable and communicable too. And it was really very informative to know about Brazil and the data which you provided about it also. Thank you so much. Wonderful listening to you. As usual, your wonderful smile made it more
thank you.
amazing. Your smile is really, really amazing, ma'am. And that made the session more amazing. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much. So we will move ahead with our next amazing speaker for the evening. We have a dynamic personality. We have Her Highness Princess Dayayu Soekarno. I just hope, sorry ma'am if I pronounced it wrongly. IHM, the Chief Executive of Indonesia. So ma'am, are you there? Rajarao sir. Okay. We have Smita Kumango, ma'am. Yeah, Mrs. Smita Kumango, ma'am. So Mrs. India, Queen of Hearts. Wow, we have an amazing speaker from heart to heart, from one heart to the other heart, reaching out. So Smita, ma'am, are you there with us?
Yes, very much there.
Yes. It's lovely to see you, that you are the Queen of Hearts. So we really get chance to meet the Queen of Hearts. So in this amazing platform today, we are talking about SDG goal number 6, which is also very close to our heart. And we have a dynamic personality, the Queen of Hearts, with us for this, to continue with the session today. And she will be reaching out to all the other heart. So if you have a heart, you will be able to connect with Mrs. Smita Kanayu. So over to you, ma'am. All yours. The platform is all yours.
First of all, thank you, Professor Rachna, for such a beautiful introduction. And definitely, it's a heart-to-heart talk. Though I'm not a researcher or doctor, or I cannot present papers and the data on the table and speak loudly about all these things, but this topic definitely very close to me and my heart, as being a responsible and conscious citizen of not only India but yes, globe and the world when it comes to being sustainable. So this topic of today's SDG day number 6 is very, very important to all of us across the globe, clean water and sanitization. My heartfelt gratitude to Dr. Raja Rao sir and Caroline ma'am for giving us this wonderful opportunity. Privileged to be a part of this and listening to all these insightful speakers from various walks of life, and listening to their stories, their experiences. Maji sir, KK Sahu sir, Binu Thomas ma'am on water management and conservation. And Manju ma'am rightly said a lot about sanitization. Kudos to the team,
Rotary Club.
The Rotary India, yes. And they have done a lot of sanitization work. And like Mahatma Gandhi always said, cleanliness is next to godliness. And hats off to their efforts, and applauds to all of them. And Miss Vilma now also put up some views that they are facing across Brazil. So like we all know that sustainable energy and resources are a big concern, as we all have been hearing of global warming and the climate change. The session I would like to start with a very famous quote which already has been mentioned by Leonardo da Vinci. Water is the driving force to all nature. Our Earth, as we all know, is also known as the blue planet, which is covered by 71%, which is 1/3 of its, the total capacities of water. But the fresh water that we can actually use for our growth, for our culture, for our industries, in short, our livelihood, is just 3% of the world's water. And only 5%, that is 0.5% on Earth, fresh water can be used. Others are in form of glaciers, icebergs, etc. India's total population crossing over 1.3 million. But only 4% of the world's fresh water we can use now. And Chennai being the first major city to have witnessed severe water crisis. And as the Niti Aayog says, at least 21 major cities, including our national capital, Delhi, will be facing huge water scarcity, running out of groundwater. A Slovakian proverb says, pure water is the world's first and foremost medicine. And I completely agree. We all believe that Jal hi Jeevan hai. And water is one of the most prime 5 elements that we have in our earth. That's fire, earth, water, wind, and space. Naturally, all these elements, actually, we have to nurture all these 5 elements properly with care so that we have a sustainable future. The World Water Day, which is supposed to be celebrated on 22nd March, and this year's theme was groundwater. The previous theme was valuing water in the year 21. It is unfortunate that it is human tendency, human nature, that we start valuing anything once we start losing it. It could be time, it could be resources, it could be relationship. So it is a call for all of us now to take, measures, take small steps. It is like we have been discussing about government plans and NGOs and so many different sectors coming up. But as an individual, as your own individual social responsibility, it is the part of every individual to take a pledge to work towards the development and the progressive sustainable globe. And we celebrate the World Sanitization Day on 5th of May. And this year's the theme was hand sanitization. Thanks to the pandemic, we all have realized how important it is. But in general also, we have been talking about sanitization. Many things have been done on pen and paper, government level things, plans, 5-year schemes. But when we come to ground reality, have we all met it? Or we still have, many steps to go? Today, only in the morning, I was watching our national news, the state news, regional news, where I saw that it was the headlines. A very, remote, not a remote village, very close to our capital, Bhubaneswar. Ladies have to walk miles to at midnight, 3 o'clock to fetch few bottles or buckets of water. So what is the reality like? It is scary. It is definitely scary. And when we talk about civilization, we have been, all the water has been the integral part of any civilization. Be it Mesopotamia, be it Indus Valley, wherever. Water has been the, lifeline for farming, business, transport. Every civilization dwelt near rivers. Along with the use of water and all these things came the drainage. India has examples to show that world that at that level also we had sanitization and Chanakya's Arthashastra mentions irrigation and sanitization as of the key requirements of a progress in society. And Manju, clearly mentioned that Indus Valley civilization is a true example to set all these. Apart from that, we have Mesopotamia, Egypt, Roman canals. In our old Indian culture, we had talab and the jhalas, which were made to conserve water. So when we used to think about water during our young days, it was all flowing water, clean, blue, and such a scene, and it was a positive thing. But now when we talk about or imagine water, the first thing that comes to us is water management, water crisis, water conservation, pollution, security, scarcity. Why? The big question is, why is it like this? Any resources that is productive, contribution to the ecosystem for their well-being, livelihood, that development is welcoming. But when it becomes destructive, it is a no-no. But why a natural thing can become destructive? It is we, the human nature, that forces the nature to go against that. So as an individual, we human being, we are greed, our nature. Of years that we have been talking about global warming, environmental changes, steps and changes to be made. But we are still far from reality. And we have been just talking about the fundamental rights like clean water, sanitization. It's right to everybody. But we are still far from all these. We only start valuing things when we are less in their resources. So I'm not a qualified person to speak a lot on this, but yes, as an individual, I have few of my concerns that I would like to present in front of all of you. Like K.K. Sahu sir mentioned that there are few industries that are consuming a lot of clean water or the fresh water, few of them being agriculture, which consumes 70% of world's fresh water. There are thirst crops, which are wheat, corn, rice, cotton, sugarcane. But definitely, we cannot, India being the prime producer of all these things and an agriculture-based country, where the majority of the economy is based around this. We cannot ignore this completely. But yes, we can form plans for more sustainable development in the same. Then talking about one of the second largest things, which is the fashion industry. Me being a fashion designer as well, I completely, feel sometimes that it is one of the most draining industries, which consumes almost 79 billion cubic meters of fresh water annually, which is the second highest in the world. And the pair of denim that we all, are so fond of, almost uses 7,000 liters of water, which is almost, an amount of individual person drinks in 7 to 6 years. So imagine what kind of an impact we are having. As an individual, again, I'm talking, it is our responsibility to take care of this. And at the end, I will definitely come to how to reduce all these things. Then comes the energy industry. Definitely, I am not a very, acknowledged person to talk on that. One thing I can talk about is again the food processing or the meat industry. So poultry, animal products, and all these things have higher environmental impacts on the nature more than the fruits and vegetables. So their, levels of greenhouse gas emission is much more and causes a lot of global warming. It takes 15,000 liters of water to produce 1 kg of beef and over 10,000 liters to bring 1 kg of meat to a table. So these statistics are actually quite alarming. Then comes the paper industry. As per the US benchmarks, 17,000 gallons per ton of paper is used for manufacturing 1 ton of paper. And when it comes to sanitization, again, India and there are definitely many other countries also which are lagging behind. But what comes to my concern is more like, Manju ma'am actually said that government is coming up with different plans, but somehow we also are we have a mindset that we cannot use the common toilets. We don't feel like using it. Now I'm a soft skills trainer also, but when I go to the colleges, now that we are again back to the offline sessions, when I go to the common toilets over there, I feel I cannot use them because they are not up to our expectations. So it is not just the government who has to make plans, but it is we as individuals, at the corporates, at the NGOs who have to take initiatives and move ahead. And second most important thing that comes to my mind is menstrual health. According to the Menstrual Health Alliance India, one sanitary pad can take around 500 to 800 years to decompose. Can you imagine how much, sanitization and the medical decomposition needs to work on this? And about 336 million girls or ladies have menstruation in India only, which approximately 121 millions use disposable sanitary napkins. So the environmental footprints that are caused because of these disposables are actually quite alarming. And how can we take initiatives? Biomedical treatments is a must. Now post-COVID, medical waste and especially the masks, it has already been, featuring on so many social medias that the ocean beds are already flooded with the masks. So these things are also prime concern. And then again, talking about my initiative as a ISR, me and my sister, we are running a trust called We the Road Queens. We have this, where our tagline is riding by passion and social work by compassion. So we have done a lot of plantations, beach cleanings, drives, seminars, and we also take up slum areas and basically work on their sanitization and focus majorly on women and ladies. And we are also focusing more on reusable sanitary cloth pads. We, at a modern age, we think that it is not supposed to be using as, it is not that very hygienic. But no, it is definitely hygienic, provided you take proper, care of using it. And then there's a good menstrual hygiene initiative taken by Manju Gupta and Meenakshi Gupta. I would like all of you to follow them and try this, not just a piece of cloth. It is the initiative that has been taken by them, breaking the silence for the past 2 decades. My Pad initiative are producing cloth pads which are more eco-friendly and sustainable. And then again, we can talk about menstrual cups, which can be reused for 10 years. Taking such initiatives on our small little levels, I think we can have major impact on the society, on the environment. And I always believe that we always have to practice what we preach. How can we make the difference? Recycle, reuse, and reduce. While I was talking about farming, yes, India being one of the leading agricultural economic countries, we can we can replace, reuse the normal, the conventional ways of irrigation by drip irrigation, rainwater harvesting, and by adding terrace gardening. I have also, my previous speakers have spoken about that, so I'll not take much of time on that. Reduce the use of meat and go to fresh and organic farming. Being a fashion designer, I always try to reuse my maximum stuff, and especially when it comes to denims. Don't throw away your denims. You can always go to a designer, take help from somebody. You can redesign and reuse them. And even the buttons, the zippers, all these things can be reused and recycled. Use your old buttons for a new costume. This will definitely help the production and the cost to a bigger level. And I, being a designer, I always try to give discounts on people who give me their old clothes, so then I can restyle and reuse them. Then switching over to our ancient roots is also very profitable. Like we have been talking about rainwater harvesting. We have seen many Bawris that have been made during the Raja Maharaja's time. So using the ground level and the rainwater harvesting techniques. Then comes the reuse of tissue or minimizing the tissues at home, because paper pulp is again one of the most water consuming industries. So we can always go for hard copies rather than, and you can see over here, I'm reusing all the papers that are not of any use anymore. These are, could be the, my feedback forms or anything, and I always reuse them. So this is how, you can practice things that you preach them. Then coming to carrying bottles while you go out. In this scorching heat, please don't buy plastic bottles. Carry your own bottles, your steel bottles, the copper one, which are healthy, eco-friendly. Denims, I have already discussed. Terrace garden, reuse of water. Like what I do is, I heard Manju ma'am also talking about this. While you are, don't throw away the water that is being used to wash your vegetables. You can always use them for irrigating your plants, your terrace garden. Then reducing your electricity, your fuel, your ACs, and we have heard that bathtubs and showers. Yes, you are privileged to have that, but then everybody is not that privileged. And I completely agree here with Professor Rachna Chakraborty when she said that yes, you are privileged, but then again, you should be taking care of others who are not that privileged. Every single drop of water makes the mighty rain. So it is very important for each one of us to take our small initiatives. And as my trust, we always say that right by passion and social work by compassion. So this is our social work and this is our compassion as our individual social responsibility to take all these initiatives. And I would like to sum up my my talk that you will never solve poverty without solving water and sanitization. These are the beautiful words by Matt Domin. And definitely we have to take care of our present resources that are available. Otherwise, we cannot talk about sustainable energy or the SDG growth that we are talking all about. Much like charity begins at home, sanitization, hygiene, and conservation starts with you and me. Take a pledge to take our own social individual responsibilities. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Meeta ma'am. That was so wonderful and so very connective. And we could see the examples which you pulled out and correlated it. It's really, really very important now to understand the importance of using the water and not to waste the water. Use it. No one is telling that don't use and stay a day without water. If you have the access to water, please do use, but do not waste it. Just imagine today you are using and tomorrow there is somebody who is outside your house who has not been able to get a drop of water to drink. So just think of that and you will see the change you bring around for the universe. Thank you so much, Smita ma'am, for this wonderful heart-to-heart speech. And we also got a good connection between you and Orissa also, wherein you gave some examples about that, how the ladies, yeah, it's true right now, even in India, in the interior parts, we know that the ladies, how in Gujarat, Rajasthan, Assam, there are still a lot more to be done, but it's never too late when we wake up. So the time you are there, you have already done on your own, but right now we need to join our hands together so that we can bring around the change which we desire to see. Thank you so much, ma'am. And it's a pleasure listening to you with your wonderful, your beautiful space and lovely smile. And really, you are known as the Queen of Hearts. Today, I came to know why people call you the Queen of Heart. So you really have connected to my heart. And I know that she has been able to connect with many of our hearts here if you really have a heart. So just find out if you have a heart. Thank you so much, ma'am, on those lovely tips on SDG goal number 6. We will move ahead with our next keynote speaker, who is there with us. I'll just try to take them first, who have been waiting for quite a long time. Dr. Shrikant Kalukar, sir. I hope, sorry, sir, if I pronounced it wrong. Sir is there, Dr. Shrikant Kalukar, sir, and he is the principal of Atharva College of Engineering. So, sir, we are just waiting to listen to you about SDG goal number 6. Being the principal, you might have experienced many such cases and many such scenes, and how you might have advised your students to come out and save the water, because that is important in school. We know we have many students who come here and they are all accessible to water, but how do we save that water from there? So we would love to listen to you. So the virtual platform is all yours, sir. We would love to listen from you.
Thank you, madam. Thank you very much. And as you mentioned, then maybe I will start with that. Being in Mumbai, first thing is that in college, we have created air-conditioned washrooms so that the people using the washrooms, the students using the washrooms should feel comfortable, because the weather in Mumbai is different. And as far as the water is concerned, yes, every washroom is attached with a clean drinking water, and every student is asked to get their own bottles and fill it during the recess times. Thank you very much. You mentioned about it. And then because you mentioned about students, I'd like to talk about my students first. Dr. Raja Rao is aware about this startup where we are converting the plastic at stage 7. That includes even the masks, the wrappers, and many other products, which we convert into usable products, and that has been converted into tiles, so that you need not have to use the cement and mortars and all these things. And these tiles are being used. The complete big platform in Borivali is made out of these tiles. The student had just passed out in 2021, but I was working with him since last 3 years when he was in second year. And now it's a great success story. He is expected to join us on 12th. And there we'll discuss more about it. There, what we have designed, the research was to develop a chemical composition which will be added with the plastics and then heat it up to 1300 degrees centigrade, so that all the things which are creating problems, especially in ocean and everywhere else, can be taken care, and we can convert that into tiles. Even our own gardens have got furniture which is made of these plastics. So thank you very much that you asked me to speak what I'm doing with my students. I would like to tell Raja Rao sir. Madam just now mentioned that it is the Chanakya Arthaniti which said that good governance for any government will come from however you are managing the water and sanitation. Yes, and Hyderabad is a state, I know, worked on this almost 100 years back. That was Hyderabad state. And Hyderabad state had one department called Waterworks Department. And that time it was not existing, in my opinion, anywhere else. If I compare it with Hyderabad state and Maharashtra. Yes, Maharashtra started MWSSB, Maharashtra Water Supply and Sewerage Board in 1980s. But my own grandfather joined as a deputy engineer in 1931 at Hyderabad, and he was responsible to see that, as the madam from Brazil mentioned, that every house should have water connection, and every house in 30s and 40s in Hyderabad had water connection. There were sanitary inspectors in Hyderabad who used to check whether all the toilets are maintained properly or not. And if a toilet is not maintained properly, there used to be fine. So if you remember, on day one, our Honorable Vice Chancellor from Hyderabad University mentioned that to implement anything, there is need of great political will. And this great political will was existing in Hyderabad state, irrespective of who was ruling and what is, and all these things. And the same thing was in the cleanliness also. In fact, when my own grandfather, he was got a promotion as executive engineer with Nizam, and then after 1952, that is reorganization of states, he decided to come to Maharashtra because we all being Maharashtrians. And he could shift to Maharashtra in 1956. And when he came here, the problem was what to do with this civil engineer from Waterworks Department, because there was no such a department which will think of water management, water distribution, and sanitation in Maharashtra. So he was made a deputy director of technical education and retired ultimately in 1962 from the same position. So definitely Hyderabad is a place which has really thought of it before many other states even could think of it. There is one chief engineer from Maharashtra, Madhurao Chitale, who became later on the secretary of Irrigation Department for Maharashtra government, and then again got a promotion as secretary of Irrigation Department at Government of India, Delhi. I had an opportunity in 90s to share a dais with him when he had recently received a Magsaysay award for the work he had done for Government of India as a secretary of Irrigation Department. So I asked him, sir, what was your main contribution? He said, every week, I was a secretary for 5 years, not a single Saturday, Sunday I missed. Friday evening, I used to take a flight, go to some corner of India, talk to the panchayat level people there, have a meeting with the villagers, and ask them to develop water societies. Water management can happen with the involvement of people, maximum involvement of the people. And Mr. Madhurao Chitale did that. He created in 5 years 600 water societies in different parts of the country, including Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, and almost every state of the country. And because of that, he got an award of rupees 55 lakhs as a Magsaysay award. He later on donated that whole money also for developing more and more water societies. So we have good examples of this kind, even in our country. As the statistics shows that 30% of the world population do not have access to the clean drinking water, and 60% do not have access to the good sanitation facilities. Now, when we are thinking about technological solutions, one of the major aspect is the cost. Here, I would like to draw the attention of the audience towards age-old systems which exist in all countries. If we take an example of our own country, there was a system that when you get the water, boil it, allow it to cool down, allow it to settle down, and next day use top about 60 to 70% of the water for drinking purpose and remaining used for any other purpose. So this is an age-old practice to convert a water which is not drinkable, to convert that into a drinkable water. One Dr. Chauhan, an oceanographer, he did an experiment with another age-old system. He took the ash from certain havanas or yajnas. Mention about that is there in all established religions of the world. Because the moment we say havan or yajna, there is a feeling that someone is talking about Hinduism. It is not at all so. I would like to give some examples. Of course, in Gita, it is already said. But in Old Testament, it has been said that the vision about evening, morning sacrifice that has been explained to you shall come true, but keep it a secret now, because it's a long time that it will come true. When it was asked when it will come true, the reply was 2,300 days. And that 2,300 days comes to 21st century. So the use of this ash, and we are looking at it from one utility, that is water at this moment. So what this Dr. Chauhan did, he took the effluents from textile, because Madam was mentioning that textile mills are using a lot of water, and what they throw, the quality of water they throw out is extremely bad. So Dr. Chauhan kept on adding this ash. He came to a calculation at what ppm, parts per million, the water becomes potable. The experiment he did was, he used to put fish in that and check at what ppm the fish could survive for more than 24 hours. And you could prove that the water can become potable. The further analysis in this regard was done as a PhD thesis in Pune University, and it was found that it enhances the percentage of dissolved oxygen in water. So we have some good age-old systems which can help in that. Another important thing from sanitation is also pathogenic bacteria and growth of pathogenic bacteria. So Dr. Sohani did an experiment with the same technique. I just mentioned about Old Testament and Gita. It's also mentioned in Sutta Nipat by Lord Buddha. It means that's something important. So all the established religions have said something about that in its use. So what Dr. Sohani did, he used to perform this havan at the time of sunrise and sunset, especially in slum area in Pune. And with the help of petri counts, used to measure the count of pathogenic bacteria. And it was found that immediately after havan, the count starts lowering down. It's minimum after 6 hours, and slowly it gets getting increased. And this experiment he did for 6 months. Now, the problem with why these kind of researches cannot be accepted by an organization like WHO, because in medical sciences, if you want something to be acceptable, then the sample size has to be 5 lakhs. That's why it takes more time to test and accept. But the pilot studies have shown that yes, we have age-old systems which can help us to control that. Madam mentioned about single pit toilets or double pit toilets. I personally did an experiment with a single pit toilet. We had digged a big hole of say 10 feet by 10 feet by 5 feet deep and used the bricks in the form of a jali, so that between every two bricks there is a gap of about 4 to 6 inches, and it's connected to the soil around. And as she mentioned, that almost up to 5 years you can use that, and it acts as a good way of providing the facility to rural areas, the remote areas where there are no drainage facilities available. I personally tried it for 15 years, that is 1989 to 2004, in one of the bungalows I owned. And we found that, as she mentioned, every 5 years, you have to just clean it. It's a very simple process, and you can very comfortably use it for next 5 years. Now the problem is major in rural areas, then urban slum areas, and the people who stay in remote areas. So we need to work on that, because water, this is a water action decade, 2018 to 2028. And in 2030, it's expected that there will be 40% shortfall in freshwater resources as compared to it is today. Because we know it's because of the rise in level of the sea water, mean sea level, which will reduce. But it has not happened now only. It's happening since thousands of years. You take the example of Dwarka. That was also one of the reasons in the similar type. So what is important is that along with the technological solutions, we can also think of solutions from age-old practices. And if you work in these directions, definitely we'll be able to get the solutions in that. And as I mentioned, our organizers are from Hyderabad, and Hyderabad is a state. Then it was Hyderabad state. Hyderabad as a state and Hyderabad as a city is pioneer in working in these directions. So if you go to the old documentations of Hyderabad, we will be able to find certain solutions which will be definitely out of the box kind of things. So thank you very much, sir, for giving me the opportunity. I got a message from Rajarao sir yesterday at 11:30, and he told me that, sir, tomorrow you're going to speak on this topic. And then I thought what I will speak, because I'm basically a production engineer. And I was thinking that I'll speak on responsible production and consumption. But yes, then I realized that our heritage has these things. And we had many age-old practices. If you practice now to suit to the needs of the common men and women today, we'll be able to get cost-effective, appropriate technological solutions which are need of the time. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Shrikant, sir. It was really very insightful of you to share all those experiences from your with the personal touch about your students. That was very nice. Being a professor myself, I too try to inculcate certain habits, which you already said. ACs in the washroom. Oh my God, that's so nice. And the water system, as you have described, the water bottles, which they're supposed to carry, being in the college too. It's really, really appreciable from you. And it's a real shout out to everyone that we need to follow. As Sir said, that in spite of not being related to the SDG, this thing, goal number 6, but still the way he had implemented, it is our day-to-day use. Water is the main prime basis of everything. And without synchronizing that, we cannot move ahead with the other goals. The other goals basis will only be possible if we have SDG goal number 6 right on place. So on that note, we have another brilliant speaker awaiting us, and he is also a keynote speaker for the evening. We have Mr. Rishikesh Kumar, and I've been seeing Sir there from quite a long time, from the beginning of the session. So I was very attentively listening to all the speakers. And now, sir, we are waiting to listen to you. He is the founder at Root Empowering Services and a really dynamic personality, doing a lot of social work and helping the communities to develop. So, sir, over to you to know a little more about the SDG goal number 6.
Thank you so much, ma'am. My voice is audible to you all. Please, Rashma, please confirm me. My
Yes.
voice is audible.
Yes, sir. Perfect.
Thank you so much,
Fine and
ma'am.
clear.
I think, yeah, thank you. I think I'm very lucky. I was listening all brilliant speakers, what I believe, reason being, if I was just trying to get that information about, about water or sanitation and all. It means what I learned, I'll tell you before going, my thought on that particular topic, SDG 6. They all, have, a different thought process in terms of water, in terms of solution of any problem, right? So I'll give you my introduction. My name is Rishikesh Kumar. I'm faculty of marketing at PCAT SB Patil Institute of Management. I'm a founder of Root Empowering Services, Pune. And I'm doing my PhD on organic farming from Pune University. So, it is my privilege, and really I'm very thankful to Dr. Caroline ma'am and Dr. Raja Rao sir for giving me an opportunity to share my thought process. So as a researcher, I had tried to get some information. Reason being, we can't blame any government, we can't blame any organization for small activities, right? It's for water and sanitation. That is very, I think burning topic. I'm agree with you, Rashma ma'am. You told if we are we should focus on this goal, and if we are if you want to achieve that goal, that 17 goal, we should focus on only this goal, that is SDG 6. That is important, ma'am. Now, before going in detail, I'll try to give you some information about the facts and figure, ma'am. If we talk about world population, that is 7.9 billion as on date May 2022. If we talk about Indian population, that is 1.4 million, right? Billion. Now, out of 771 million people, 1 in 10 lack access to safe water. Can you believe it? Second is very alarming, situation. The water crisis is the 5th global risk in terms of impact to society, announced by World Economic Forum in January 2021. Third and most important, 122 million people depend on surface water like a river to meet their basic needs. And if we talk about population, in Indian population, 68% Indian population is staying in rural area, and only 32% population are living in urban area. So we need to identify as a researcher, right? As a citizen of this country, that is India, what kind of activities we can plan. And it is our individual responsibility, my dear friends. I'll tell you. Government is taking a lot of efforts. If we take example of any particular country, like Brazil or India or Russia or maybe any country, they are taking a lot of efforts. But what we are taking, we can't put blame on government. What they are doing, it is our sole responsibility to provide them each and everything. Now, best information: 1.7 billion people, 1 in 4 lack access to a toilet, my dear friends. 494 million people, that is 6% of the global population, defecate in the open. That is the biggest challenge, I'll tell you, my friends. Better water, sanitation and hygiene could save the lives of more than 2.97 lakhs children under the age of 5 years. Nearly 1 million people die each year from water, sanitation and hygiene related disease. It means as a person, as an individual, it is our responsibility to save water. Now, how we can save water? It doesn't mean we should follow some strict rules and regulations by any government authority. We can save if you take example of our daily routine, right? We are consuming a lot of water. It's fine. But if you are wasting some water, my dear friends, please don't waste it. I'm agree with ma'am, as you were discussing, Smita ma'am, always you should carry your water bottle, my dear friends. Please. First and most important thing. Now, one more figure, 2.3 billion people globally, 3 out of 10, don't have access to soap and water to wash their hands at home. My dear friends, it's very alarming situation. Again, I'm focusing on women. That is I think empowering women is critical to solving the water crisis. If as a city of India, we should promote our women and a girl community, what I believe. So women and children bear the primary responsibility for water collection. Women and girls spend 200 million hours every day collecting water. This is time not to spend working, caring for. They're not focusing on a family, or they're not going to any institution. What they're trying to get that water from different sources, right? And improved water sanitation and hygiene practices lead to improved health for the women and girls. My dear friends, if as a person, if we are giving them the full facilities, right, as a men dominating, we call it like, male dominating society, please, we should promote them. We should give them the each and every access. Now I'll share you some more information, my dear friends, on education. That is important. Now, globally, 1 in 3 schools lacks access to basic water and sanitation, right? For every year a girl stays in school, her income can increase by 15 to 25%. Most important thing, my dear friends, just listen me. In terms of economic impact of water and sanitation on economy, 260 billion is lost globally each year due to lack of basic water and sanitation. Now, I'll give you some basic information how we can save our climate. That is important. Increasing access to sanitation, wastewater management can help reduce greenhouse gas emission. Already that point was discussed by Smita ma'am. I'm agree with you, ma'am. And now I'll try to give you some how we can save, or what is the main purpose of this SDGs 6, to ensure access to safe water sources and sanitation for all. Again, more than 80% of wastewater resulting from human activities is discharged into rivers or sea without any treatment, leading to pollution. So I think we are a citizen of any particular country, we can control. We should know how to consume water. If we are not, if we can't save water, I think it's the biggest challenge for coming generation, my dear friends. Now, if you talk about that impact, 2 million people die every year from diarrheal disease. Poor hygiene and unsafe water are responsible for nearly 90% of these deaths and mostly affect children. Proper water and sanitation is the key foundation for achieving the sustainable development goals, including good health and gender equality. So now what we can do for safe water and sanitation? My dear friends, if we talk about responsibility, it is our responsibility as an individual citizen. Now, in this country or any individual country, a lot of NGOs are working on that. And really, I appreciate Dr. Caroline, ma'am, you are working basically on water, and in slum area, you are educating them, ma'am. Really, I salute you. Reason being, it's very difficult to say something, and you are doing it, ma'am. Really appreciate your efforts, ma'am. Now, if we talk about, we celebrate, ma'am, World Water Day. We celebrate World Toilet Day. My dear friends, we should start celebrating Water Day each and every day. What I believe, each and every minute, each and every second. Otherwise, it's very difficult for us to survive on this planet that is beautiful Earth. And now, my dear friends, approximately 68% population are living in rural area, my dear friends. We should start educating them how to save water, my dear friends. Worldly approximately 32% population living in urban area. So maybe some more time. And in Pune, I'll give you some facts and figures, my dear friends. I think Pune and Chandigarh have implemented smart water meters. How you can save water, ma'am. And that is very good. And they're doing in a very good manner. I think all cities of India are going to implement it and really appreciate Government of India for taking a lot of efforts. And if we talk about India, Namami Gange projects are there, Jal Jeevan missions are there, Atal Bhujal missions are there. So what government is doing? They are taking a lot of efforts, my dear friends. So please, as a citizen of India, we should start educating other person, or we should follow, right? We can get them to save water and sanitation. So thank you so much, ma'am, for giving me an opportunity to share my thought process, what I was trying to do. I just have gathered some data, otherwise it's very irrelevant to speak something. Thank you so much, Caroline, ma'am, and Raja Rao, sir, for giving me an opportunity. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Yes, that was wonderful, superb, sir, brilliant. And it was like bang on to all those who are listening to our platform today. And we are really, really honored to have you, sir, on our platform. The data and the statistics and summarizing everyone's speech and collecting the data which we had gathered today from everyone's speech. That was wonderfully presented by you, sir. Everyone had their bits, and to the contribution of the water and the planning, which you had told that it is really, really important now that we should use that much water which is needed, no extra at all. So on that note, the quotations, the facts and figures which you provided to us on this platform were superbly amazing. And this has really made a trendsetter on SDG goal number 6, which is the basis of all the other goals. If we do not have water today, we might not have been able to continue the session for so long because water means power, and power means internet, and then a lot of other things which comes in. So on that note, we also, first of all, I would love to thank sir from the bottom of my heart. So in spite of your busy schedule, you were here with us today. Thank you so much, sir, from the bottom of my heart. And we'll move ahead to our next speaker. And our next keynote speaker is another dynamic personality, an experienced person, Dr. Ashok B. Gupta. He is an educationist and an environmentalist. So what else do we need today to listen, and whom should we listen to rather than to an environmentalist who will be guiding us about SDG goal number 6, the importance of water and sanitation. So sir, over to you. The virtual platform is all yours. Dr. Ashok B. Gupta.
First, I thanks to Raja Rao sir and Dr. Caroline and to giving me this opportunity to say the few words on the two burning topics, that is a clear water and sanitization. And first I say about we having the three basic needs, the food, shelter and cloth, but nowadays the sanitation and the clear water is also the basic needs of our life, because without water nothing is possible, because without water plant and animals and all the living things life is not possible. So water is play a very important role for all of us. I am staying in Mumbai. I am working last 30 years in the field of education. I am the owner and the founder of the junior college, which is running in the slum area of Mumbai. Mumbai having a two part. One part is a well-developed city and another part is the slum area. The main problem of this slum area, they are having the water and the sanitation. In slum area, I'm watching from last 15 to 20 years that people are suffering from water. They're purchasing a water 10 to 20 rupees for 50 liters for the drinking purpose, and for the 50 rupees for the 100 liter for washing cloth and bathing every day. So you think that how much money they are spending for the water. But I am working in this slum area, and I contact with the local bodies, that is the corporators and MLA, and I explain what is the problem of water. So due to my feedback and whatever I complaints to municipal corporation and MLS, they can fulfill their commitment of my letter, and nowadays the result is there that they can start the pipe water supply and also the sanitation. In a Mumbai well-developed city, but in well-developed city, the lack of land and the lack of this sanitation, people are going in a open spaces. And due to this, the nearby slum areas, people, they are suffering from the many disease like cholera and the other spot. First thing,
Dr. Ashok Gupta, please, may I request you to open the mic?
Yeah. Sorry. That 17.9% of Earth's surface mostly is sea and the oceans. Only the small portion of water occur, that is the groundwater. That means 1.7% of water. That 1.7% water, they're having the glacier and ice, which is Antarctica and the Greenland. And the only 0.001% we are using for the drinking purpose. So you think that how much water I having? If I waste this water without thinking of the this water, lack of this water, our next generation, they are not having the good day for this water. The people who having the problem, they can solve the problem of this water. They can very much know that what is the value of the water. If you are go in a hill part or the some rural area of Maharashtra and other part also, Madhya Pradesh, Bihar, Jharkhand, that the women, they are walking with a one utensil or one matka on their head for 2 to 3 kilometers in this summer season also. That, and now this year, we all know that due to the lack of the rain, nowadays Mumbai and nearby area, they are having the low water supply. So we think we are the educated person. If you are not aware of this shortage of water, so what about our next generation? So first thing that we can explain, we can educate, we can aware them what is the use of water. The water fit for human consumption is called drinking water. We are having the water. There is a two type of water. First is a drinking and another for the agriculture, bathing, swimming. So that is a two other part. But main part is the drinking water. That water is a very much having the very less storage of in our world. In 2000, the United Nations established the Millennium Development Goal for the West. By the 2015, the proportion of people worldwide without access of safe water and sanitation. Progress toward that goal was the uneven, and in the 2015, the United Nations committed to the Sustainable Development Goals of achieving the universal access to the safe and the affordable water and the sanitation by the 2030. The poor water quality and the bad sanitation are the deadly. Some 5 million deaths a year are caused by the water-related diseases. The World Health Organization estimate the safe water could prevent 1.5 million child death from diarrhea each year. So this is one part of which is the important part of water. In these 30 years, I educate each and every student that how can you store a water. In a rain time, I am given the idea that in your house, you put a one channel, and that channel is connected with a pipe, and that pipe is stored in a big a bucket or drums, whatever you have, that you store that water and keep it for the use of this water for bathing and also the washing purpose. Because this in slum area, when they are purchasing this water for an investing their money for 150 rupees per day, that time I explained that this is a good way that you should collect the water for 2 or 3 days. And in this way, nowadays they are using this ideas for their house, and they having the underground storage and collect the water for 2 or 3 months. So it is a good initiative that people or that some local NGO, they can help for to construct this underground storage. Our government of India also, they can having a good initiative for this, that about the sanitation, that now in last 7 years, that I think the crores of toilets are in a rural area, having the poor people, they can having this toilet. Previously, they are going open spaces, which is not good for their health and the air. According to the what is the sanitation, what is the with the help of World Health Organization, which is defined as the sanitation generally refers to provision of facilities and service for the safe disposal of the human urine and feces. The word sanitation also refers the maintenance of hygienic condition through service such as the garbage collection and the wastewater disposal. The sanitation refers to the public health condition related to the clean drinking water and treatment and the disposal of the human extract and sewage. The overall purpose of sanitation are to provide a healthy living and environmental for everyone, to protect the natural resources such as the surface water, groundwater, soil, and to provide the safety, security, and dignity for the people. Human rights of water and sanitation was recognized by the United Nations General Assembly in 2010. It has been recognized in the international law through the human rights treaties, declaration, and other standards. It is the deliver from the human rights to educate the standard of living. What is the main thing? A lack of sanitation. The lack of sanitation referred to absence of sanitation. In practical term, it usually means the lack of toilet or lack of hygienic toilet, and that anybody would want to use the voluntary. The result of lack of sanitation is usually the open defecation and the open urination, but it's of a less concern with the associated serious public health issue. It's the estimate that 2.4 billion people still lack improved sanitation facilities, including the 660 million people who lack access of safe drinking water of water as of 2015. What is the key fact for this sanitation? In 2020, 54% of a global population, that is 4.2 billion people, use a safely managed sanitation service. over 1.7 billion people still do not have the basic sanitation service such as the private toilet or latrine. Of this, 494 billion still defecate in open, for example, in street, gutters, behind the buses or into the open body of water. In 2020, 40% of the household wastewater generated globally was discharged without a safe treatment. At least 10% of world population is through to consume the food irrigates by the wastewater. Poor sanitation is a link to the transmission of diarrhea disease such as cholera and the dysentery, as well as typhoid, intestinal worm infection, and polio. The poor extravates the stunning and the contributes to the spread of the antimicrobial resistance. The poor sanitation reduces the human well-being, social and economic development due to impacts such as the insecurity risks of the sexual assault and the lost opportunity for the education and work. So at last, I want to say that we people first educate from the school, that I'm related with the school or the aim. If every person they are educated, so you should aware of the clear water and sanitation and what is the use of this clear water, because if we having the clear water, pure water, our health is affected. If we are having the pure water, we are become healthy. Unpure water, we are having the some water disease, and our health is also not good for that our day-to-day life. And the sanitation is the also the one part of our life, that the good sanitation, for the good sanitation we are try and educate the illiterate person that we can use toilets not for the open space, and we can explain what is the harms for the open space toilet, and what is the harm of unpure water. So if you having that promise with that each one and teach one for the clean water and sanitation, that I think our India become a guru of the whole world for this water and sanitation problem. Thank you. Thank you again to giving this opportunity to listen of the few words.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Ashok Gupta. It was wonderful listening to you, and I saw a lot of comments coming up in the comment section, and there are a lot of ideas also been shared there in the comment section. Also, I can see Vincent Tech had written a lot of ideas there. From catchment area to pond, water can further be used as aquaculture and plantation. Which can be a replacement for commercial fertilizer. Yeah, thank you so much, Vincent. So now, after that wonderful informative speech from Dr. Ashok Gupta, who had finalized and the deadline of given us all the tips regarding the SDG goal number 6, which is very, very important. Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your ideas. Now we would move over to our next session, which is with the panel discussion. And I would request if you could raise your hand, or else I will directly ask the questions from the panelist who was there from beginning and listening to each and every pointers which our speakers pointed on, as well as our guests who had joined. So is there any hand raised up? I can't see, so I'll be taking the names. So we have Amajuri is there. Amajuri Vishwanath, would you like to add something about goal number 6, SDG goal number 6?
Yes, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are, but you're not visible though.
Yeah. And now am I visible?
Yes, sir. Yes, yes, yes.
It's a great opportunity to take part in this summit, World Peace Summit, organized by our beloved brother, Dr. Ravajarao Pagdipalli and Corolini ma'am for providing wonderful opportunity as part of this. Being as a director of Green Care Society India, I am also working in the field of social and all these SDGs and as well as environmental sector. My question for this panelists or distinguished speakers of today's session: what is the rate of groundwater at present condition in India, and how can we implement or how can we increase the level of water for upcoming generations, and as per locality or as per structural conditions of different parts of India, and what are the methods to increase ground level water for regarding for water consumption?
So you'd like to address the question to whom, sir?
To anyone, any of them, ma'am. Anyone can answer my question. Why? Because the different speakers have different ideas and views. So that's why.
Okay, okay. So I would request
This is Shrikant. May I say something?
Of course, sir, of course.
Sure, sure.
Of course, one of the solutions which is well known is rainwater harvesting. But a research was done to understand the way there are waterways, water paths, water flows on the ground. It is also observed that water also flows under the ground. So when we think of raising the groundwater, we can find out where are the underground water paths, waterways, and that can be, one can work on that. The paths can be rerouted through drilling and other techniques so that where you need water, the water path can go. One kind of research in this direction is being taken place to increase the level of groundwater, in addition to rainwater harvesting.
Thank you, sir, for your valuable answers. Thank you very much.
Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Amajuri, sir. I would ask Smita Kunal. Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Just to add on this, now we are seeing a lot of people having their own apartments, lavish bungalows. Okay, you are like I've said, you are privileged to have all these things, but we must understand why this groundwater or the rainwater is not reaching the ground level, because a lot of concrete things have been coming up. So having lots of muds and open areas, forest areas in the major city itself, and wherever there is drainage, we should see that this it's so very deep down that it is reaching the ground level. It's not that just eloping and vanishing from there. So that is one most important thing, to have a few barren lands and paddy areas and green fields around, so that the natural water that is falling can be absorbed by the soil. So I think in such cases, a lot of construction should be avoided, and apartment and all these things where we can have, lesser space on land, and it can go vertical upwards, not horizontal. So we can make it.
I want to say something for this. Hello? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir,
Yes,
sir,
sir,
you are
yes.
audible.
See, for the ground level, why the ground level water is goes on decreasing? There, I saw the one main reason in the rural area, that the village area. Previously, they having the one the hand pump. Nowadays, every home they having the hand pump, and with they having the uh, motors. That is with a, they are not pump with a hand pump. They are directly put on the button and take a water. For the one bucket, they are wasting the so much of water. So this is the one main thing, that the water level is goes on decreasing. And second thing, in for the agriculture, the formal also they are having the tube wells. In for tube wells, they put the button and they can slipping that their for the water is going in their fields, and they are watching. Yeah, it's the water is going. So this is the wasting of the water. If you are having a, why not you put up pipelines, and why not you use this water? So in a village area or in the rural area, the groundwater level is goes on decreasing. This is the main reason. The factory and that is the industry, that is another part. But whatever the we having the solution in our hand, why not you stop these things? So because the lack of knowledge, first to aware that if you are wasting so this much of water, what about your next generation? So I think this is my, that whatever I experienced, that I share with you.
Yes, very true. Thank you so much, Dr. Ashok. I hope, Amajuri sir, your question has been answered and your doubts.
Yes, yes, ma'am. I got that answer.
Yeah, Vincent X, sir. Now we would love to listen from you because your comments were very, very convincing. So we would love to listen from you, and any questions you have for our erudite speakers today who have joined. Sir, you need to unmute yourself.
Well, thank you very much for the moderation. Indeed, the further to the so-called climate change, indeed throughout the whole world, okay, the underground waters have been getting lesser and lesser. Okay, there is no denying. Perhaps, okay, that some of the country, they do have the reservoir, they do have the so-called the river, okay, side. Some is towards from the so-called the rivers towards to the ocean mounts. From this, actually, there's some kinds of the collections of water, whether using the traditional or the technology ways, okay, from whereby we still can salvage the water, okay, not in practically just for the daily use. In fact, it can be performed in many ways of the so-called the cycles. Okay. Likewise, they say in Malaysia, whereby besides we are depending on the so-called the reservoir water or from the reservoir water or the so-called the river water. Beside the reservoir or river water, in fact, Malaysia is looking forward now is to use the seawater as another alternative, further to the future challenge of climate change. On top of this also, especially in the certain so-called rural area, many have been given some kind of these trainings and developments. How can they, to recycle the water, that's from the daily use, instead of directly go down to the so-called to the drainage or the sewerage area or to the riverside. So what happened here is that actually they will recycle the water to the very least, eventually from the ground and it's go through these some other areas of kind of drainage. Okay, so these are things that I wish to share. And on top of that, also right now, in fact, the local supplier also from some of the country, actually they have used it. Like example, like what I have quoted earlier in the comments, that actually from the basin water, okay, they will flow it to the toilet bowl, the so-called septic tank. Okay, from the septic tank here itself, you can use, okay, to be recycled for flushing over the toilet bowl. So such drainage and the recycle system is very simple and straightforward. So I hope further to this comment, hope it can be shared with everyone. With that, it's a very good program, this to share across the world, that I hope that it may be so-called very fruitful, eventually will be a very good knowledge for everyone. Thank you for that. Have a great day.
Thank you, Vincent, sir.
My pleasure.
Thank you. It was lovely knowing about you and your knowledge, which you had shared about the groundwater and what happens when we are not able to make use of that, and the water which is outside, how it can be streamlined and utilized into the various usage. Thank you so much for sharing that too with us. And now I would request our panel speaker, Ambassador Dr. Lilibet Gregorio. I have seen you, ma'am, there from the beginning. And I know, ma'am, she's a very good speaker too, and also seen her in several platforms speaking about very nicely. So, ma'am, would you love to ask any questions to our erudite speakers today who are joined and the keynote speakers? So, over to you, Ambassador Dr. Lilibet Gregorio, ma'am.
Yes. Great. So we very appreciate this SDG. So we have to very empowered in mind that we have to be inspired by the teachings of our speakers, and we hope that we have to be transformed and empowered to our educators and learners. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Okay, sir. Okay. So we'll move ahead with a vote of thanks because it's very late here in India. And of course, we can listen to more and more such amazing speeches. And with our erudite speakers today on the platform is already set on fire. And we got so many takeaways from today's session. Those who missed out the session, I would request them to please listen to all our erudite speakers, the tips they had shared. It's really, really very, very convincing. And it is truly a claim. They have done it. They have not written it in black and white. Whatever they have shared, they are doing it. And as a result, it is from heart to heart. So I would request now Dr. Rajarao Pagadipalli to come up and share his vote of thanks to this panel speakers and our guests who had joined us. Over to you, Rajarao, sir.
Yes, thank you so much, Excellency, dear brother, all distinguished participants. I just want to tell two or three points. To start, my thing is Jal Hi Jeevan Hai is the very common things in rural India. And I would like to tell first and foremost to make everybody on this planet to understand that water is not a commodity. It's a life-making material. It's a stuff we are made of. Over 2/3 of planet is water. 2/3 of our body is water. And maybe this could help our Ambujeri Biswas sir. But where is the water gone? Actually, water has not gone anywhere. Whatever water we had on this planet a million year ago, we still have the same amount. It's not gone out of the atmospheric space. but it's just not where we need it. We are not able to service the people with the need of water, and what we are the reason why it's happening. I would limit myself to the situation in India, and in many ways this situation is relevant to all tropical regions of this planet. India has been always referred to as land of 7 rivers, but we have over 700 rivers. We must understand two types of rivers, glacier-fed river and forest-fed river. In India, only 4% of the river's water is glacier-fed. Rest, fortunately, is forest-fed. So I'm saying fortunate because we can put back the forest, we can put back the vegetation, but we cannot just bring down snow whenever we feel like it. It's important to understand, like a country in India, we have an average 45 to 50 days of rain, or what we come down in 45 days, we are required to hold it in the land for 365 days. If this has to happen, it doesn't matter who says what and thousand different opinion, but fundamentally, you can hold the water in land if only if the soil has necessary organic content and there is vegetation. It is understood that to call soil as a soil, a minimum of 2% organic content should be there. But today, nearly 25% of India, the organic content is 0.05%. That's the mean we are converting soil into sand. Now, I want to conclude with the 3 solution points. This is decade of action, as all previous speakers, eminent speakers, chief guests said about this SDG 6, water and sanitation. We have to think not only economically, we have to think ecologically also. And mass involvement is highly required for this. Thank you so much.
Vishwanath sir, please unmute yourself.
Hello. Sir. Tarun Tiwari, sir. Hello. And it was Jal is Jeevan hai. Really Jal is Jeevan hai. Where there is water, there is life. There is no life without water. Water is life, matter and matrix, mother and medium. There is no life without water. The discoverer of vitamin C, the scientist said this is very fair. One more thing, our Honorable Rashtrapita Mahatma Gandhi, father of nation, he has told the earth, the air, the land, and the water are not an inheritance from our forefathers, but on loan from our children. So we have to hand over to them at least as it was handed over to us. This is very important, and this is our duty to hand over in pure form all the natural resources to our coming generation. What is the importance of water? When the well is dry, we know the worth of water. Thousands have lived without love, not one without water. So at the birth, newly baby is washed with water. At death, a corpse is washed with water. Water in the beginning of life and water at the end of life. Thank you, sir. There is very less of time, so I could not. I do not want to take more time, and I convey my sincere greetings to Sir, Dr. Rajarao sir and all the eminent speakers. Thank you. I will request. Oh, okay, sir. Okay.
Yes, sir. Sure.
Okay, sir.
I will request the former director of Maharashtra State Electricity Board if he can join us, Mr. Sodavne. I'll try with him. Yeah. He's working. He's an advisor to McKinsey on the same topic. I'll try with him. Yeah, I'll check it. Thank you.
No problem, brother. We will there tomorrow session also as per participants. No problem. Definitely we will contribute as our responsibility for this grand success of this summit. Sure, definitely.
Sir, I'm there, I'm here only. Thank you. Thank you.
Sir. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. No. Okay, thank you, sir.
Sir, thank you.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Thank you very much.
My pleasure, brother, my pleasure.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for inviting me. Really, I would like to appreciate each and every eminent guest speaker, chief guest speaker, and keynote speakers. And really, panel discussion, as you said, is very, very important. Then only we will have a great brainstorming and a lot of innovative ideas will be generated. That will be very useful to have the new projects in the coming years. So really, we have to invite panel discussion, not general speech. So let us have the chief guest speeches and keynote speeches, but more priority and importance has to be laid on panel discussion. So I am very happy that tomorrow onwards you declared that panel discussion will be given the priority. So thank you very much. From the bottom of my heart, I would like to congratulate each and everyone who stayed till now. Really, I'm feeling a little bit fatigued, but I'm seeing everyone with so enthusiasm and so interest with great energy. You're making the platform very jubilant. So thank you very much. Really, I don't know how to convey my gratitude and thanks to each and everyone for making this summit a great success. So I thank you, each and everyone. Especially, I would like to thank my brother, Dr. Rajarao Pagdipalli. He always says he appreciates me, but the way he is taking up from morning to evening, I will be busy with my college work, I will be busy with my house chores, but from morning to evening, you will be on this works only. So really, I would like to appreciate my brother. Because of him, the summit is going on in extraordinary. So thank you very much, brother.